long-awaited Lady Gamers Night presents the Sister Slay D&D. It has been a time, for sure. I think we just figured out almost 2 months since we've been back in Barovia. I can't help but notice the longer we're in Barovia, the more, we try not going to Barovia. It might just be me. But we are here, and
There's one quick way out of Barovia, and we can start a brand new campaign.
No.
No.
You will never die.
Did you just say that like a mercy? Like, heroes never die. She's like, E will never die.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
'Cause I play Overwatch.
Yeah. Look at me. I'm a pro Overwatcher. Beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful. So welcome everybody. We are in high spirits, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's spirits around.
Yeah.
I'm in a good spirit.
Mm.
It's gonna be fun.
I'm just so happy to hear everybody's
I
voice,
know.
honestly.
And I'm so being sick has been the worst. I have coconut water, so hopefully that will help.
True story. During the pre-show, I think we've been just talking for like an hour while Mandy's been trying to struggle to set everything back up again. So
Yeah. I'm like, what? Hi, my name is what? My name is who? My name is, I should have taken a nap.
my name is Sika Jayaz.
Jayaz Queen. Yas Queen.
Oh my god.
Cool.
You missed us.
Oh, there we go. I got it still let me do my sub streak. So look at me, subbed for 8 months in a row.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yes.
Yay.
All right. Oh god,
Okay.
my mouse is all wonky.
Wonky.
So I suppose the real question is, are we ready to dive back into Barovia, reacquaint
Always.
ourselves?
That's the question, isn't it?
The question, isn't it? Ain't it though?
Oh, stop.
Sorry.
Whenever we were talking about accents.
Isn't it though? Ignore me. Okay, let's go. Let's do it. This is why I don't have a webcam on. Yeah, I am. If I just go silent, somebody come poke me with a stick.
Okay.
Alright, so, brief recap based off of what I remember, and y'all have the notes, so feel free to chime in and add any details that I might be skipping over. Since you've been away for a little bit, very quick recap. So, you all arrived in Barovia, seemingly smuggled in by these Vistani. You arrived at their camp, they delivered you to the town of Barovia, where you met Irina and Ismark? Ismark. Yes. You learned a little bit about what was going on in town, how their father, the burgomaster, had passed away after a heart attack on a very frightening night. They were looking to put his body to rest before they moved on to try and find safety for Irina, who seems to have gathered the attention of Lord Strahd, the vampire who lives in Castle Ravenloft above the entire town of Barovia.
Yay, vampires!
Under the cover of darkness, you delivered the burgomaster's body to the church, where you then proceeded to have it buried. And you witnessed these ghosts marching off from the graveyard all the way up to Castle Ravenloft. Shortly thereafter, you left and arrived in the town of Vallaki. When you arrived in the town of Vallaki, you met some of the local characters. You've met Danica and who you now know to be Were-Ravens. You reclaimed the Wizard of Wines and started the flowing of delicious wine back into the city. And you also partook in the Festival of the Blazing Sun, where...
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I don't.
My fabulous
It was fun. I liked
Yeah.
That
So
was a mistake.
upon returning, you get decked out in your best finery. You show up in these beautiful, bright dresses that are stark in contrast to everyone else in their drab grays and browns and lack of color. The local nobility rides in on horses, and right as they're about to start the celebration by thrusting a torch into the center of a giant wicker ball representing the sun, the sky opens up, rain pours down, snuffs out the torch. A guard laughs, and as the burgomaster is about to just go absolutely insane on him, he very subtly conjures a flaming sphere inside of the wicker ball, bursting into flame, only being noticed by some of the people nearby. Suddenly, the crowd erupts in oohs and ahs, and suddenly it feels like Pelor, the god of sun and good health, is returning to Barovia. Uh, on the heels of that celebration, the party continued at the Blue Water Inn, where you partook in drinks and games, and bread and bakers for some of you. And after a wonderful evening of revelry, you all turned in for the evening and rested up for the night for whatever awaits you today. During the evening, several events took place. While you were upstairs in the Blue Water Inn, sitting in the Widow's Watch, as you had done many nights before, kind of observing the outside, noting any local characters, you began your trance and sort of did the same routine you did every night, where you're trying to reconnect with nature, trying to feel the land, hear what it says to you. And ever since your arrival in Barovia, it's been quiet. You've heard no mumblings, no even sense of like emotions or intangible thoughts from the land, which is entirely unusual. However, tonight's a little bit different. As you kind of settle in, and it's deathly still. Everyone's quiet. The party below is turned in for the evening. Looking outside, you see something that you haven't seen in your entire time here. The thick, overbearing clouds over Barovia suddenly part very, very, very slightly, and a single moonbeam begins to pass through the clouds and lights up almost an entire quarter of the city. And as you're watching this moonbeam, it kind of sweeps across the town from left to right, and it's coming towards the Blue Water Inn, and as you feel it hit you, you suddenly start to feel pangs of emotion that well up from inside of you, that are coming both from the supernatural moonlight as well as the earth is finally starting to whisper to you. And you can't make out the definite voices like you're used to hearing, but you start feeling this sense of like sharp pains and almost twisted, gnarled roots that are entrenching themselves even deeper into blackened soil, and it feels sickly almost. But you can feel a sense of almost alleviation a little bit, as if this has been the general state of things for a very long time, and finally there's just the tiniest glimmer of relief. As soon as you tap into these feelings and emotions and they start to well up within you and you start to experience them, the moonlight passes, the clouds cover back up, and once again you're left in kind of the silence of it all. Amelia, you're
Yes.
having a very nice dream where it's after the party and you've actually escaped from Barovia and things are very different, but Irina is still with you. And it feels like the two of you have grown close over time, when suddenly this beautiful sunny day that you two are experiencing begins to shift and warp, and suddenly you're back in Barovia in a place that you've never seen before. And the person you're with looks a lot like Irina. Almost exactly. Her face is the same, hair color, eye color, like all of the defining features are very similar. But her style of dress is very different, and her behaviors are very different. And the area that you're standing in is kind of like an outdoor courtyard that's surrounded by stone almost. And there's a lake in the center and a gazebo off to one side. And standing under the gazebo is a man. It's a man that you don't think you've ever seen before, and no matter how hard you try and focus, none of his defining features are coming into view. Like, you look at his face and you know it's a man. You can get definition of, like, he doesn't have a beard. His hair is probably black, but all the features that you would normally see, they're not sticking. You don't recall them. They're not anything memorable. And suddenly Irina turns and sees this man and like runs in a full sprint and just like almost leaps onto him, wrapping her arms around him. And then the both of them fade from view. You wake in the morning kind of in a lightly cold set of chills that are running down your body, and you're not quite sure what the dream meant. Janaga, you also are visited in a dream tonight. As you're sleeping, you think fondly back to the evening's events where you had been partying and reveling and drinking and having food and enjoying a community that you haven't had in a very long time. And as you're there, this ice cold chill kind of reaches like very skeletal hands through the back of your skull, and you feel it on your mind almost, wrapping around these icicles, just sort of gently tapping on the outside of your brain. And you hear this dark, silky, almost slimy kind of voice, and it's pulling you towards Castle Ravenloft. And suddenly you look around and you and your compatriots are all standing at the base of this magnificent castle that you've only seen at a distance when you were in Barovia proper. And as you look all the way up to the very top, a single streak of lightning crosses the sky, illuminating everything for a brief moment. And a man stands atop it with long black hair, blood red clothes, golden filigree across it, rings decked out on his hands, and he looks down underneath of you, like underneath, down from the top of the castle to all of you. And you feel this sense of welcoming, this pull as the large doors in front of you just part and welcome you inside. And as you step in, everything goes dark. Jazz. You are awoken in the middle of the evening as your gentleman caller tries to sneak out.
Asshole.
And you let him go.
Yeah.
You let him go.
Yeah, I'm not attached.
It's been a great night. This has been the first type of like romantic companionship you've had in a while since you've arrived in Barovia.
It's been like a week.
Shush! It's been long enough.
It's been at least like, we'll say 2 weeks at this point.
Ugh.
But it's been a minute. And as he leaves, you kind of stand up and look out the street. At this point, E's eyes are closed and she's meditating, and you don't want to disturb her. But you look out, and you see a man wearing bright red clothes with a big brimmed hat, blue plume feather off the side of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you vaguely recall seeing him downstairs in the Blue Water Inn a couple times in the morning. Usually he seems to grab a couple items from Danica and then leaves. Traditionally it's been different kinds of food and things, and no bread that you've noticed because you're very tuned into that kind of thing. But usually like a couple apples, a steak, and he'll leave in the morning. And you did notice that last night he came back and kind of did the same thing. He returned, grabbed a couple food items from Danica, left once more, and then about an hour or two later came back. Well, you see him again tonight, and he's wandering around almost frantically searching for something. And you're not quite sure what, but he appears very distraught. And he looks over his shoulder and gives a sharp whistle. And as he does, you swear that you're seeing like a tiger or something.
Huh.
Something that is so out of place and does not belong here
Right,
at
right.
all. The two of them join up, turn down an alleyway, and then they're gone. Other than thinking, man, how much have I had to drink tonight?
Oh, yeah.
You kind of let it go, and you go back to bed.
Okay.
All of you awake in the morning, full memories of everything that you experienced tonight. And as you begin to prepare for the day, you all head downstairs to the Blue Water Inn. What do you do?
I would like to just sit down with some tea and think
Okay.
about my dream.
Sure. So you head down first. You kind of order some tea and some light breakfast for the table, and everyone starts to come down one by one.
I'll get something to drink too and sit down. And when everybody's seated, I want to ask if anyone had an interesting night. Just because of the general sense of everything, I want to see if it affected anybody else.
Mhm.
Because I don't sleep, so that kind of a feeling. I'm wondering if it was just so intense that it might have affected everybody else, and if so, how.
When I go down, I'm gonna be like, Jaos is clearly, she had a rough night. Like the braid is mostly unbraided, the makeup smeared. I'm probably in like whatever kind of jammies that we're rolling with in Barovia. Like, I don't know.
Yoga pants.
Yeah, like the Barovian equivalent of like some yoga pants and like an oversized sweater. Yeah. That's what it's. My tunic is completely untucked, just like over my regular tights. I don't have shoes on. But I'm gonna see if Danica has like medicine, like headache kind of medicine. Like I'm gonna be nursing a bad hangover for quite some time, I think.
Danica chats with you briefly as you kind of request. She's like, honestly, the best thing that you're going to want to have today is water. Lots of it. She pours like a huge mug that's usually a stein for alcohol to the brim with water and says, don't leave until you finish this.
Okay, and then I'm gonna just like start chugging it as I walk to the table where E's already sitting.
So did anybody have an interesting night? While I was meditating, I definitely experienced something that I haven't ever before.
If you mean by interesting something really creepy that I've never dreamed about before, then yes.
What happened? What happened?
I was in front of this weird castle. It doesn't look familiar to me, but at the same time it was. And there was a man on top of it, beautifully dressed, and he was looking down on us. We were all there. And then when the doors of the castle opened, everything went dark. And then I woke up. Did you have a similar dream?
I don't remember dreaming at all. But I do think I saw some weird-ass guy just, like, in the streets last night. Have you guys seen the guy here? He's always in, like, red. He has, like, a blue feather hat. Janaga, I think you eyed up his plume at one time because you wanted one for your hat. But no.
That sounds familiar.
No, I don't even know what time it was. But he was just looking for something. And there was, like, I don't know, like a large cat with him. It was weird. It could have been that dragon crush though.
He was wearing red.
Yeah, it was mostly red.
That's what the guy in my dream was wearing. Like blood red.
Well,
Jayaz, go ahead and roll a perception check.
oh boy, hold on. Ugh.
Here we go. Here we go.
Oh shit! Hold on, let me. How bad could it be?
It's gonna be great.
Yeah, we're back, baby!
Okay. You don't notice anything of import.
No, I noticed nothing.
Nope. However, E, as they're talking about a man in red, because your passive perception is crazy high, you're kind of leaning back as as Jayaz and Janaga are talking about their experiences and what they saw, and you look up, and in the Blue Water Inn, there is a second floor that you guys are become acquainted with because your rooms are up there, but the balcony overlooks the tap room. And as you look up, sure enough, man in what appears to be like a leather jerkin, like blacks and browns, is wearing a red cape, red hat, blue plume feather. He kind of leans over the balcony, kind of surveys the area, makes eye contact with you, and then walks outside. He goes to the right of the balcony, down a set of stairs, and out the door.
Did anybody else see that? Could I have gestured to anybody else to see him?
No, because I'm
Sure.
dumb.
Oh.
So Janaga's in the middle of telling, Jayaz is in the middle of telling the story, and as she is, you kind of like subtly gesture to look up, and anyone who looks sees the back of this man turning as his cape kind of billows behind him, and he makes his exit.
Not to be crass, but what the fuck was that?
Was that the guy?
Yeah, he just, yes.
It looks like him. Yeah.
I don't
What do we
understand
do?
what
Are
is
you
going
gonna-
on here, and I
Are
don't
you gonna do something
nothing.
about it?
So, Danica, as you all are having this conversation, look at him and, what the hell's that? She walks over, delivering a couple more things, breakfast, puts another thing of water down for the table. She goes, oh, that's Rictavio. He's been staying with us for, she kind of counts on her fingers for a second, almost 3 or 4 weeks now?
Rick Tavio?
Yes, he claims that he is from Kresik, and he's a traveling performer. He's been trying every couple nights or so to drum up an audience here with some storytelling and everything, but no luck. Unfortunately, that type of gig doesn't fly in Barovia. People don't tend to care for the arts.
It's a shame.
I'll have the entire party go ahead and roll an insight check.
One day we're gonna roll things that don't require my shit wisdom.
Oh, snap.
I got a 14.
Okay. Yeah, by the way, if you have physical dice, feel free to roll physical dice. That is A-okay.
Okay.
They're here
Sorry.
somewhere.
It took me a second to remember what to do.
That is okay.
Where is my dice bag? Oh, found it. It's behind the listing.
Yay, +3 means nothing.
Woo!
Everything
so-
that I have, like, plus anything on is crap. Every
Aw.
time.
So Amelia and Janaga, you both get the sense that a traveling bard that brightly dressed in Barovia, having been here for almost a week and a half now, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Something there isn't right. Janaga, you also seem to recall the very first time you saw him, he had a tiny monkey. Like, you vaguely remember this of like, no, I think I was just insane. Like, that's not a real thing. That's cute, but no.
What?
You thought it was maybe stuffed or something, but when Danica says this, like, that image just pops back in your brain, like, wait, what?
Monkey?
No. And you kind of mention, did he have a monkey? And Danica's like, oh, Piccolo, yes. He was a... He's Rictavio's tiny monkey. He gave him to the toy maker down the street. As I didn't want the monkey to stay here, unfortunately. Can't have live animals living inside of the inn. But my understanding is that the toy maker's been taking care of him. That's who he's grabbing. He's bringing food to them every morning. He'll usually ask me for a couple apples and a steak to bring over to the monkey and to the toy maker for taking care of him while he's here working.
The monkey eats steak?
I want to see a monkey.
Well, the monkey probably doesn't eat the steak, but the toy maker perhaps.
Oh.
Yeah. I like monkeys. Depending on how big this monkey is.
Yeah, well,
So
It's
that's
small. Actually, do I have a picture? I might have a picture.
okay. But when I saw him last night, it was definitely no monkey. It was bigger.
Are you sure you weren't just drunk?
I mean,
They turn into a kitty or...
no,
There was probably a cat outside the window, and you were like, "Oh, that cat's huge because it's right by my face."
I mean,
I know monkeys when I see one.
I'm not saying that may not have been the case, but I'm pretty sure it was like a large cat following him.
I mean, I
Sure.
trust that she's used to being drunk enough that she wouldn't be that confused.
So this is a rough approximation of the man that
I
you've
would hope
seen.
not.
His clothing is a bit different,
Ah,
but he has that kind of leather jerkin and jacket and the red billowing cloak over it and the hat.
Lemony
Unfortunately,
Snickets, is that you?
I do have a
There's
picture of the
Lemony
monkey,
Snicket. Yeah.
but in order to see the handout of the monkey, you'll have to go see the monkey.
Oh.
Okay.
It's like
Oh,
a
if he's
shoulder
with this-
monkey, right? Like
like a little shoulder monkey.
like
a
Aladdin
Yeah.
monkey, right? What's the
like a
monkey?
spider.
animal?
A capuchin?
Aladdin.
Capuchin.
I always think about that.
Yeah, think Apu, but a little less cartoony. But yeah, same size, small.
Think Marcel.
Yes.
Aww.
So, Janaga and Amelia, on the hearing Toy Maker, you are immediately reminded of the discussion you had yesterday
yeah.
about the Toy Maker in town.
Well, since we wanted to go there anyway, we might as well head there right now. So you can find this monkey.
I'm down with that.
Let's
You can go
find
to
a
the
monkey.
see the toys, and find out what that shifty guy's up
Why
to.
were we going to a toy maker? Did
Oh, you weren't invited.
You
mm,
don't like toys.
wait, I do want to see the monkey though.
We'll get you a present.
Yeah.
I promise.
Oh, we can still go.
I owe
Oh.
you an apology, Jazz. Jazz, I owe you an apology. So I was gonna go and get a present with Janaga without telling you. So can you just stay here while we do that, please?
I wish you could see my side eye right now. No, it's
Inside your webcam doesn't work.
it's fine. I'll suck it up. I will brave the day so I can meet this monkey.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
So are you heading to the to see the Toy Maker?
We're off to see the monkey.
I think we're all out. Yep. we're
Yeah,
all
Yeah.
I think we're all
Yes.
going.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Don't
yes.
split the party.
No, we're not. Stop. Not yet.
Should we check in on Ismark and Arena first?
Who?
So Ismark and Arena are coming down the stairs, but rather than stay for breakfast, they are actually kind of, you see them on their way out. It's actually Ismark that comes over and says, we have some business with the Burgomaster again today. However, if you could come over and meet us around noon, he would like to meet you all from the festival yesterday, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Great job, E.
Whoopsie.
I mean, and E is like wide-eyed, silent, and mad. She doesn't want to do this. Fine. That's fine. We can do. That's fine.
Okay.
We have to do something else first, but that's. And
Okay.
so she says goodbye, and they.
we say our goodbyes and we both go in different directions.
I'm gonna ask Danica for like, not a flagon, but like
Antacid.
like an extra skin of water to take on the way.
Okay. Danica does provide you with an extra skin of water to take with you.
Thanks,
And you all begin heading over, yes?
yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
I need snacks.
So,
don't
you
get
all
snacks,
begin...
your webcam isn't on.
Yeah. I was gonna say, no one's gonna know.
It's okay, my lunch
So-
bag's next to me anyway.
As you all begin to make your way through town, it's overcast, it's cloudy, the ground is a little bit muddy, but not terrible. Your boots are doing a fine job of, tracking down the mud, keeping everything nice and clean. On your way to the toy maker's shop, which Danica gave you directions to, we'll say E and Janaga, you both notice a man who's kind of been following you. He's wearing normal, we'll say noble finery. He's wearing, dark colors, but it appears very nicely crafted. And he's not being obvious about following you, but he's also not trying to hide it.
Okay.
I'll just keep my
Is
eye on
this-
that.
Is this a man that we've seen around before?
Roll an investigation check.
Oh, I think that works. Oh yeah, come on. Wow, with that +4.
There you go. All right. So you've seen him around town, and you kind of noticed him around.
Mm-hmm.
It's not until you've noticed that he's been following you that there's been a special interest there. Before it just seemed like he was always just present.
Okay.
He was always doing something else, but he was never focusing on you guys. Now it seems like he's actively taking an interest.
Is there a way, like, while we're walking, can I kind of take, like, maybe an alley or something parallel to our path so, like, I could kind of keep an eye on him away from the group?
So are you kind of like splitting apart from the group to do like a CIA four-box kind of thing?
Yeah,
Or...
what happened to staying together?
Like, I still want to be, like, I mean, we have the earrings to talk anyway, but, like,
Yeah.
I want to see if he's going to keep following them. Is he going to, like, try
If he
following
wants.
me?
I could try to stealth behind.
Your stealth is really good.
Yeah. Okay, so I imagine as we're walking, we're all noticing this. So maybe we're, like, talking over the earrings real low.
Mhm.
And so, I'm sorry, now I'm eating a peach, so remember that. So I'm going to say, yo, I'm pretty sure this guy is following us. Do we want to try to split up a bit to see if he follows one of us, or what do we want to do?
I don't think that this guy's a threat. The way that he's dressed is too ornate for him to be, unnoticed.
He might
So
not.
I think he's just.
He might not.
He's just. Sorry, go ahead.
He might not be a threat, but I don't like, strangers following us.
Okay, if it makes you feel more comfortable.
So maybe one of the rogues want to do some rogue stuff.
On it.
Okay.
You're better at this than I am now. I'm more
So-
theatrics.
As you're all walking, who splits off from the group and who's going where? Amelia, it sounds like you're gonna kind of duck down an alleyway and see if you can double back and get behind him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I got a 14.
14 on your self check. Okay,
I rolled a 5, but I have +9. So.
gotcha. Oh, actually, that reminds me. I'm gonna need my dice.
Good lord, +9.
Yeah, I'm an expertise in it now. I have expertise in it.
Oh, these special dice.
Nice.
Oh, also, yeah, I want to show off this lovely spell book that I got for my birthday,
Oh my gosh, beautiful.
Oh, that's cool.
also known as
Dice box.
Oh, no way.
my
That's so
dice
cool.
tray.
Oh my god.
That's cool.
I don't know why there's a
So
Miro, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, the mirror is interesting.
Yeah, like
Yeah, the mirror. They claim
So
that
you
it's
can, like,
supposed to
touch
be
up.
like Well, it's a whiteboard. Like, you can use dry erase marker on it to track your health and stuff, but the
Also,
reflective surface is a little weird.
also can check your face.
So you look hella cute while playing.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, this is the most. It is a very critical part of playing D&D is looking your best.
I'm gonna send you guys a
yes.
picture of me later, so you could laugh at me being my best self right now. I am wearing
Do that.
a Twitch sweater that's like 18 sizes too big. I'm eating an old peach. I just got out of the shower.
Glamour all around.
That's the
Okay.
life we lead.
Yeah. So it sounds
So,
like
Amelia.
Amelia's the only one that's gonna go around.
Okay, so Amelia, you successfully managed to, when rounding a corner, duck into an alleyway, and the rest of the party knows that you're kind of heading down that direction, but after a few seconds, they lose track of you as well. You manage to double back and are successfully now tailing this guy who's probably following at a 10-foot pace behind the rest of the group. So you've got the group up front, about 10 feet to this gentleman, and then however far back you'd like to be to observe.
What are the roofs like? Like, can I climb up on a roof? Is there a way
So-
for me to jump up on a building?
Yeah, so when you duck down the hallway, you do kind of notice a couple, we'll say enough loose brick and cobblestone, as well as some like fencing that allows you to get up towards the top of some of the houses. It's not necessarily easy to jump from one to the other, given how the Gothic styling of the buildings have very steep roofs. However, go ahead and roll a acrobatics check for me, please.
+18 9.
Oh yeah, you're fine. So you managed to deftly move amongst the rooftops, kind of keeping an angle over the guy, and his hands are in his coat pockets, and he's otherwise just kind of observing.
Does it look like he's holding something, like in his coat pockets, or just walking with his hands in the coat pockets?
Seems like he's only walking with his hands in the coat pockets. However, he probably has some extra items on his person, not necessarily weapons or anything, but you imagine someone of his stature probably carries around a decent pouch of gold, maybe a couple items. He does have a he's got a couple expensive looking items around his neck. He does pull one of his hands out of his pockets for a little bit. You notice a ring. He's clearly well taken care of.
I'm just gonna say over my earpiece, please don't kill him unless we have to.
Take all the fun out of everything.
I'm sorry. I've just already made a mess of things already. So I just don't want to make things worse. I'm sorry.
I just want to point out how hilarious I think it is, like from an outsider point of view, that E doesn't even see Amelia at this point and is like, please don't kill, please.
I mean, I kind of know the girl. I've gotten a feel for tendencies.
She disappears,
I won't
bodies
say
pile
anything
up.
back, but I'll just follow him, and if he tries to make contact with them or anything, I'll try to jump down.
E can
Okay.
sense her fuming anger.
Okay. At this point, you're about a block away from the toy maker shop. Do you stop and confront the man or anything before you go in?
I'm ready to just go in.
Do we have any kind of tracking we could, like,
Fracking?
tracking?
Oh, tracking. I'm like, fracking?
You have a spell called Hunter's Mark that allows you to
Yeah.
go to location of any for up to 6
That's-
hours, I believe.
That's what
That's what I'm talking about.
mhm.
Okay.
I don't have to hit him though, right? Like I just.
I don't believe so. The spell I think you just cast and it just takes. I don't think it needs.
You can choose a creature you can see within range and mystically. Why does that look like it's spelled so weird? Mark it.
Mystically?
Yeah, it was like mystically.
Yeah, mystically.
Mark it as your quarry.
Mystically.
Blah blah blah. Extra damage. Blah blah blah. Damage. Blah 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 blah. Blah blah blah.
I can't say blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So I can still see him then.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
still see him. He's kind of falling behind you guys. Again, he's not like necessarily focusing on you, but
Mhm.
he's obviously tailing you.
All right. So I'm gonna cast Hunter's Mark on him. Just because, like, I don't know. I think seeing that guy last night really has me on edge, and I'm also hungover, so I'm on edge, and we're in Barovia, so I'm on edge. So like, I just don't like the situation. So
It's just anxiety.
yeah, like I'm just like everything, and the yellow dress, just like, and then I just do it.
Okay. So you managed to silently and secretly mark him,
look at me using a spell.
and you are able to maintain concentration for up to 1 hour at first level,
As long as
or whatever.
I don't
level he's
do
gonna cast it
anything.
at.
Yeah, I'm just gonna cast it at first. Oh, D&D Beyond is so different.
All right. So as you all arrive at the shop, Amelia, do you kind of double back to join them, or are you gonna keep an eye on this guy while they're inside?
I'll still keep an eye on him.
So as you approach the shop, it is in a very tall, narrow building. Does not look like it's very wide and has much floor space for property. But the cramped shop does have a dark entrance portico, which is those like the iron barred gates, above which hangs a wooden sign that's shaped like a rocking horse with a V engraved on either side of the sign. Behind the entrance are two arched, lead-framed windows. Through the dirty glass, you can kind of lean in and see a jumbled display of toys and hanging placards bearing the slogan, "Is no fun, is no Blinsky." Blinsky. Jesus. Alright. Do you head inside?
Wait, is no fun, is no Blinksy?
Yep.
I kind of like that. I don't even know what Blinsky is.
Is that a name? Is that a phrase?
You'll find
I
out.
think he's a street artist who lives in England. Never mind. Okay, we're going
He just
on.
puts up graffiti everywhere.
Yeah.
Is no fun, is no Banksy. Got it.
Pretty much. I mean, you're not that far off.
Okay.
Is this a place that we have to knock to enter, or we can just go right in?
It's a store.
It's a place of business. You can go right in.
Okay.
Alright, I'll go right in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go in.
So as you enter, you hear a small chime of a bell that kind of tracks the door. And you are met by a few things. So first thing you notice is
This is what I wanted to
the
know.
aisles are somewhat cramped, so they're pretty narrow. Think of like going to a department store where they've just tried to cram as much space as they can with the
Mhm.
rows. But it's old and musty, and there are several toys, question mark, lining the aisles, essentially. Everyone go ahead and roll 1d10 and tell me what number you get.
Oh, great.
Oh boy, that's not it. That's not it.
9.
Ah, floor.
Stumble all over the toy.
Okay, so we have 2, 9, and 4.
2.
Alright. So, Janaga, you, as you're walking along, notice a toy that is a miniature gallows, complete with a trapdoor and a weighted hanged man that's hanging from the noose.
Oh, just what
I
was
want it. I want it.
I'll pick it up for you.
E, you notice a wind-up musical merry-go-round with
Aww.
figures of snarling wolves chasing children in place of prancing horses.
God.
Nice.
And Jayaz, you rolled really well for this. I'm so excited.
Of
You
course.
see a headless doll that comes with a sack of attachable heads,
No!
including one with its eyes and its mouth stitched shut.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm immediately, I'm like doing a 180, and I'm gonna start heading back towards the door.
As you start heading back towards the door, the shopkeep trying to figure out who the hell just came into his store, rounds the corner and says, "Welcome, friends, to the House of Blinsky, where happiness and smiles can be bought at bargain prices. Perhaps you know a little child in need of joy? A little toy for a girl or a boy? And this is
The
who
one
you
trying to
meet."
leave.
Aw.
Oh, I love it.
Is he dressed like that?
He is dressed
Like
like
a
that.
jester?
Yes.
He is wearing a jester hat, and he is actually got Piccolo, and Piccolo is wearing a tutu.
He is wearing our team's colors.
Wow.
So now I'm gonna do another 180 and I'm gonna like just go over to E and I'm just gonna put my head down like on her shoulder.
Rub it.
I'm like,
It's okay.
this is a nightmare come to life.
Scary man. It's
Scary
okay.
man, jester, clown man, scary dolls. I should have just.
It's a lot. This is a lot to
I
handle,
can't.
especially with the hang. It's a lot.
Amelia's really regretting not seeing Jayas have a breakdown.
As you kind of go and tilt your head on each shoulder, across from your line of sight is actually a very cute set of wooden nesting dolls. Like, it's the big babushka on the outside, basically.
Uh-huh.
It's a younger woman, looks very cute, very, like, peppy, rosy cheeks. Actually seems kind of sweet.
What's the monkey's
I
name?
kind of want to pick it up.
Piccolo.
Okay.
And Janaga, you pick
Dragon
it up.
Ball.
Yeah, I want to pick that up.
Okay, you pick it up. Do you open it?
Yes.
No.
Okay. So you open the top, you twist it and pull it off, and inside there is a... So if the outside one was basically like a cherub or a young child, this one appears to be a little bit older, possibly like a young adolescent or preteen or something similar.
Keep going.
Keep going. Yeah, I want to keep going.
Okay. The next one you take out appears to be a young adult, possibly a woman in her younger 20s. You keep going. This one's a little bit older, probably in her like mid to late 40s, starting to show signs of aging. Her hair has a few gray streaks in it. There's a few like crow's feet, some wrinkles starting to set in. The next one is like a woman in her 60s. Her hair has gone gray. She has a cute little bun. She's got granny glasses on. The next one's a little bit older. She's probably somewhere around like 80. Her skin is starting to sag a little bit, and the craftsmanship of the wooden dolls starts to almost melt in places to match the texture and the feel of what an older person's skin that's starting to fall from their bones might feel like. The next one you open is a little bit more disturbing. Probably the same woman in her 100th year, 120th. At this point, her smile is cracked and teeth are missing, and her hair has gone from a silky gray to almost a ratty, unwashed, uncleaned, stringy texture. Her skin is set in. You can see the pits around her eyes kind of sunken in a lot. Her skin at this point is actually falling off of her body. The next one that you open
How many are there? Oh my
begins
God.
to wither even worse.
Stop opening them!
Her eyes have disappeared, and you're compelled at this point to keep going. You can't stop even if you wanted to. This one that you pull out is almost a mummification. It's blackened skin, sallowed eyes, and as you pick it up, like, part of the arm actually snaps off your hand. It's clear that this is possibly not made of wood, and you're not sure. And finally,
Not gonna think about it.
the fascination breaks, and you drop it, and you kind of like put it back, and you don't bother stacking them back together. You just leave them as is. Cool, cute, whatever. Done.
Well, at least we didn't hear a scream.
I hate Barovia.
And Blinsky turns to you and goes, "Oh, do you like this one? I spent a lot of time on it. The craftsmanship is very good. Makes lots of people happy."
Do you make these toys?
It's lovely.
I do. I make all the toys for the little girls and boys of Barovia. There's not much that I can do with my skills except for try and make people happy. The Burgomaster believes that if everyone is happy, that we will all be good and the sun will come back. And look, like yesterday at the festival, the fire and the sun came back and it's working.
I just look over his
We're
shoulder.
all doing a little bit to make it a little bit brighter here.
Ha!
Hush, you don't even.
Yeah, Amelia's getting bored, so she's probably like picking up rocks and like trying to throw them at the dude now.
Forgive me. What is your name, sir?
Oh, yes, my name is Blinsky. Very nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. So, if I may, Mr. Blinsky, what gives you the inspiration behind all of these wares?
Yes, so a lot of these are based off of things that, we see a lot of here in Barovia. Some of the children tell me that what they would like to see, little boys like to play with little soldiers and like to fight, and they like to cut the heads off of things, and little girls like to take care of dollies, and they like to feed them, and sometimes they like to bury them, and sometimes they like to tuck them in.
I'm living in Adam's family, Will.
This is okay.
There is one that I just made that you might like to see. And he kind of taps his shoulder where Piccolo is and points to a top shelf. And Piccolo stands up in his little pink tutu and he taps twice and he leaps towards the shelves and climbs up top and brings down this doll. And the first thing that you notice about it is this doll is Irina Koliana. Like, it is her to a T. It's her face, it's her hair, it is her eyes. Like, it matches her features entirely. Because this one is one I just made for a man in town. He comes in and he describes this beautiful woman all the time. I think he really likes her. But I made this one for him most recently. Isn't it great? And Jazz, you kind of peek your head up a little bit. You don't notice the features, you just notice the color of the dress.
No!
And you immediately tuck your head back into
It's okay. Okay.
Thanks, I hate it.
Mr. Blinsky, did the person that asked for this doll, or that you made this doll for, did he say when he was going to come back to get it?
He comes in roughly once a week. I make things like this for him all the time. This is probably my 50th at this point, I think. I've made quite a lot.
50th
Yes.
doll for him?
Yes. He works for the Burgomaster. He lets me keep my business, and I don't have to pay for any of the taxes or anything that I owe the Burgomaster as long as I keep making toys. He seems to be happy. I like to make people happy. It works out well for all of us.
What's his name?
His name is Ezek. Not to be confused with Ismark. Now you know why my entire separation of names is a pain in the ass.
You have a list in front of you.
So is it Isaac?
Yeah, Izek.
Oh.
Ezek.
His name is Ezek. He works for the Burgomaster.
Okay.
Does he always want you to make dolls of the same person?
Yes. Every time when he comes back, he gives me some updates. Sometimes he wants her in a different dress. Sometimes her hair is not the right way. Sometimes I get some of the details wrong. He gives me lots of feedback to make sure that I keep making better dolls.
So with my face still pressed in E's shoulder, and be like, so wait, you've made 50 of the same doll?
Yes, he really likes them, and I like to make people happy. He's probably the only, and this is the part where his face kind of falls a little bit. He's like, he's probably the only customer I have these days.
Well, that makes me want to.
I wonder why.
Is there anything in the store that's not horrific and terrible?
Go ahead and roll another d10.
Just how bad is it going to be? My gosh. Oh,
Okay.
there we go.
You find what appears to be an almost if nothing else, you understand that Barovia at this point is definitely weird, and their way of living and their culture is just kind of bizarre. Adam's family is the best way to describe it. But you do find what looks to be a wooden string mobile that would hang over a baby's crib, and it has hanging bats with flapping wings. These are probably by far the least terrifying things in the entire store.
Okay, I was considering purchasing something, but I'll pass.
I'll buy that. That's cute.
Oh, you would like to buy from me? I would be happy
I
to
will
sell
buy
you.
that.
This particular mobile goes for 9 copper pieces. I know it's a little expensive, but it is very good quality, I promise you.
Oh,
I'm
that's
gonna lean over to her and say, "It doesn't have to pay taxes. You can get it for cheaper than that."
No, I feel bad, the poor guy, and he's giving us a lot of info.
Okay, so you pass him 9 copper pieces, and
Yeah.
he takes the mobile from off the shelf, and he kind of shows you how it hangs and the little string that you can pull to make the bat's wings flap, and you place it within your bag.
I mean, is this the Tim Burton movie?
Really? So again, still face president. I'd be like, so if we wanted to talk to Egypt, where could we find him?
Oh, he's usually out doing the Burgomaster's business. Sometimes he's at the mansion, sometimes you'll see him around. And he kind of starts to describe the features, and you recognize him from the festival yesterday. He was walking alongside the Burgomaster, kind of where the horse was. He was walking side by side.
Okay.
You remember that he also has this. Roll a perception check for that. We'll say Jayaz because she's the one trying to recall.
I'm dumb.
In a weird way, you kind of think one of his arms was bigger than the other.
I think
Not a lot, but like you kind of get the feeling like, oh, that's his. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's how you interpret it.
Got it.
What?
Nothing.
Okay.
Jay also understands.
Okay, then I turn back to him and was like, I love your mom. He's so cute.
Oh yes, I am watching him for a little bit while Rictavio is in town. Have you seen his shows yet? He is fantastic.
No, what kind of shows are they?
Oh, he tells the most wonderful stories of faraway places, and about dragons and heroes and princesses and kings and queens and shadows and all sorts of delightful things.
He's quite the storyteller.
Yes, and he says they're all true. He says that they're all things that he has personally experienced. He told me one time about these people that he met. It was a very strong woman. She could lift up to 10 people in stands. It was fantastic.
Wow.
He told me once he also managed to train a gargoyle to go to stone and change back on command.
That's very interesting. Even the princesses? He's met princesses before?
Yes, he says he's met princesses with beautiful hair and nice jewelry. The details can get a little salacious, but I don't know if he's telling the truth there. But, yes, he seems to be very well traveled.
Wow.
Guys,
And
I'm
this
bored.
is Piccolo.
Can you get me something? Here, Amelia.
Amelia's just outside, like, wow.
There's an interesting doll in here you might like.
No.
My dog won't stop.
Oh, I didn't know what that noise
Yeah,
was.
no, me and Jake are on the same wavelength.
No.
Oh, I assume.
Did they have the doll for Janaga? I mean, not Janaga, JS? Did they?
Janaga, go ahead and roll a investigation check.
Ooh. Investigate.
Because you're in on this.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm gonna say to Amelia, you really ought to come in here.
I'm just staring at this guy still.
It's okay. He's marked. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah. So,
You should really see
Janaga,
this place.
while Jayaz's head is basically buried in E's neck, you look around and you kind of very quietly ask Blinsky if he has a specific doll.
Oh.
And he kind of like lights up behind the eyes a little bit. He's like, oh, and you're saying like I'm trying to find a special gift. She's gonna absolutely love it. But this is what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
He's like,
I'll
I
pay
have
for
just
it.
the thing.
Don't worry. I'll pay for
And
it.
he turns and grabs something off the shelf, goes to the back of the shop for a quick second, and comes out. And this doll looks exactly like you described. It has pale white skin,
No.
black mid to back length hair, slightly curly. The dress is a bright, vibrant yellow that's been
No.
Okay,
in lieu
okay,
of
okay.
spider webs. He's found like a lacy doily that he's kind of dipped in water. That's the veil on her eyes.
No.
You can tell that he's made some adjustments like last minute to try and make this work, but he has handed you as close as you can get to the doll that you've heard Jayaz describe.
Yep.
When he starts to come back and I can see the doll he's carrying, I'm just gonna escort her outside. Be like, okay, we need to get out of here.
Y'all think it's funny until Jayas kills herself.
Hey! I'm not gonna let that happen.
Oh my god.
Okay, and so
Yeah,
yeah,
we're
we're
gonna-
gonna go outside. It was very lovely meeting you.
Wait, I want to buy it.
Okay,
Just Jayaz and I are going outside.
yeah.
And
Buy it, I'll pay you back the money.
And I think E is just like escorting her out because she's having a moment. Like she doesn't
Right.
see this at all.
No, I'm not gonna let her see it or anything. No way.
It's a gift
Yeah.
for Amelia. She wanted it.
So
I mean, she
Janaga,
lost her necklace.
you purchase you complete your purchase. It's
Yeah.
about we'll call it 15 copper pieces because he had to make some emergency adjustments to it. But otherwise, you have found exactly what you were looking for.
Yeah.
Geez,
Um,
now we're at the whole
shopping.
24 copper pieces.
I was gonna say, do you have any other questions for him? Anything you would like to know? Any details that you try and find out?
I'm just gonna kind of like pull over to the side of it and get on the earrings. Like, do you guys want me to ask him anything else?
I can't think of anything.
Did you get the doll?
I just came to see the monkey.
The monkey.
The monkey.
Okay. All right. Then no. I guess we have nothing else to ask. So I will take my leave and thank him for my wonderful present.
Okay. As you take your present and get ready to go, he says, if you see Octavio and watch his show, can you please ask him to swing by and deliver us some snacks? It's been a couple days since he has stopped by with food for the monkey, so I just wanted to see if he was planning on coming back.
I will. I will ask him for you.
Okay. Thank you, and thank you again. I hope these make you very happy. It is absolutely my pleasure to be able to contribute.
It was my pleasure to help your business.
All right, and with that, you leave. Oh, yeah.
I totally forgot to ask about him. I got so distracted.
Did you want to come back in?
You can go back in as I'm heading
Okay,
out.
well, I'm gonna leave Jayaz.
I'm okay now that we're outside. I'm just.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like just it's gonna dawn on me because I was so concerned with helping
Right.
Jayaz go
Yeah.
outside.
I know.
It's gonna dawn on me
Pebbles
after
at
I go
Jayaz
outside
from
and
the
be
roof.
like, the whole thing came. I'm gonna go back inside and say, "Excuse me, Mr. Blinsky.
Oh, yes. Welcome back.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean. It's just my friend. She had a long night, and I want to just get her some air.
No, it's okay. She looks like she is having a bit of a rough day.
Well, I mean, it's most days, but anyway. Let's see. About the man that you got the monkey from.
Yes.
Can you tell me anything about him?
I mean, he says he's a wandering performer. He has told me many stories. He's staying at the Blue Water Inn. He's come by a couple times with food for the monkey, but not very often. I usually will try and get some vegetables or something when he doesn't come in. But I haven't seen him in a couple of days now. Now that I think of it.
How did the arrangement come to be that you would keep the monkey? And also, the monkey seems to be very trained.
Oh yes, Rictavio did most of the training. I just tap and point, and he goes off to pick up whatever I ask him from the high shelves. It's quite wonderful.
Okay.
Rictavio stopped in here shortly after coming to town and asked some strange questions. He wanted to know where he could keep his cart. So I told him, there's a place that you can keep it a lot down that's run by a pair of brothers. They do a wonderful job there. So he has their cart there. But then he also asked me if where to stay, and of course I told him the Blue Water Inn is the best place that you could possibly go. So he's been staying there, but Danica did not want Piccolo at the inn. Understandable, you don't want to keep live animals inside. So he brought him here for me, so he can help me run the shop and reach the hard-to-reach items.
Okay. So at night, have you ever noticed any peculiar behavior from the monkey? Anything that wouldn't seem like something a monkey would usually do?
The monkey's been fine, but as of late, kind of unusual at night. I'll see some bats flying in and out of the coffin maker's store down the road. But bats are not uncommon. Just the repeated behavior is kind of weird.
How many bats?
Oh,
Is it more than 10?
No, not that many. Maybe 3 to 5.
Okay.
I think.
The coffin maker, you said.
Oh yes.
Okay.
He kind of details where you would be able to find that specific location.
Right. And sorry for asking, but you don't happen to have any clue about a tiger or a large cat?
He kind of looks at you confused. No, I don't think so.
Okay, I just wanted to know, and I'm gonna give him just 5 copper, just for giving us all this information. And thank you so much for being so helpful. It was a treat.
It is my pleasure. Thank you so much for coming. I wish you much happiness in the future. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Okay, and then I'm gonna leave.
Okay. So you all head back outside.
Right.
It's probably close to like 10 a.m. at this point, so it's getting to be a little bit towards the afternoon. As you exit, the strange man has kind of been waiting on the opposite side of the street, and Amelia, you've been watching him kind of, pretty closely. He hasn't moved, and he's definitely been watching what's been going on inside of the shop. As the rest of the party comes outside, he kind of walks towards them to approach.
I jump down.
Okay, so you jump down behind him. Are you trying to be stealthy about it, or are you trying to, have him know that you were following him?
I don't care. I'll just jump down in front of him. I don't care.
Okay. So you drop down, and he kind of goes, oh. Hello. I've noticed that you and your friends are new to town.
Is that why you're following us?
I mean, following is
No, you were
crass,
following.
but
No,
yes,
no.
I take an interest in travelers to our town. We don't get them often. What has brought you to our wonderful town of Valaki?
Why are you here?
I live here.
Well, maybe we want to live here.
Oh, this is.
I heard there's
not
free
similar
real
to most
estate.
people. It's free real estate.
I mean, we have a deed to a windmill, guys. We
This
can
is
live
true.
here.
This is true.
That's true, yeah.
Well, if you were to move to town, that would be delightful for us. You see, I've been sent by Lady Fiona Wachter of the Wachter House. She is always on the lookout for great talent and those that would be welcomed within her circles. And he goes to provide a handwritten invitation to a dinner tonight to you. She would love the opportunity to meet you and your companions.
We'll think about it.
I got the lilies. Oh god. I don't know what to think about this.
Stop
Well,
following
thank
us.
you, Miss, and he's kind of asking for your name.
Night Rain.
Miss Nightrain, it's my pleasure. Ernest Larnack, if you go looking for me, I'll be around.
I'm gonna
And with that,
I'm not gonna look for you, but you can leave. Bye.
hold on. Before he leaves, I'm gonna I guess I'm looking at the invitation. I don't know. I guess I'll take it.
Okay.
And
Well, there is an invitation for each of you individually.
Oh, okay.
And interesting enough, he asked for your names.
But they're on
However, your names are on the invites.
there.
What the fuck?
So as I take my invitation, I'm gonna be like, so what's the food situation at this party? Like, is it free? Is there bread?
Oh, there will be.
Is there a baker
numerous courses,
on
whatever
premise?
you would like.
Jeez.
I don't know what the chefs have preparing for this evening. However, it will be a 5-course meal. There will be plenty of fruits and vegetables and breads and cheeses and wine beyond all belief. We promise it'll be worth your time.
And what's the dress code? Just, asking for a friend.
Please come as you are. My lady will be happy to meet you.
Oh my god.
You are our guest of honor this evening.
I just realized I never went and put on clothes, so I'm still in my tunic and tights.
Really? I think we just all did it. Well, I mean, we all
Oh,
come
God.
down straight, so that's crazy.
So, yeah,
You might want to find your
are.
armor before you get in combat.
These things they happen.
Starting a new trend.
So, because he is not about to go somewhere with some mysterious lady that just knows their name. See, what could she do? Okay, I'm just gonna ask him outright what kind of stuff she's into.
Oh, my lady.
Like, what makes this an interesting get together?
Oh man, what are her kinks?
On the first date?
It's like, what is she into?
That's,
No, okay. So, Ernst kind of gives you a look and goes, oh, my lady is, the town has been unhappy as of late with our burgomaster, and she's looking for friends who would be mutually interested in seeing a change of leadership for the town. All by above board means, of course. It's a very political discussion. I'm sure it would be something that probably, the intricacies of which would probably bore you. However, it would mean a lot to my lady if you would just meet with her in an audience and kind of get the outsider's perspective of what new adventurers to town might think of the situation.
How many people would be part of the audience, and how many people roughly do you expect to attend this get together?
Oh, tonight is just for you.
Well, then what's the audience? How many people are a part of that?
It would probably be my lady, Lady Fiona Wachter. I will not be present, however. I'm simply here to handle her business for her today. Her sons may be a part of it, however, those two boys are rather rambunctious. They like to go out on the hunt and then usually spend the rest of their time at the Blue Water Inn, unfortunately. Consuming whatever drink they can, the scoundrels. But I would say
How old are they?
Oh, they're young. They're in their young 20s. Boys will be boys.
One. Are you kidding me?
Hunting, you say? So they have to go out the gate to do that?
Yes, they actually go out and help secure our borders and keep the area safe from wolves.
Oh.
And you recall that
Right.
when you guys arrived, it was the middle of the Wolf's Head Jamboree Wolf's Head Jamboree had just ended, and there are definitely a lot of like stuffed wolf heads and stuff at the Blue Water Inn, and probably going to be decorative
And
for some
the
of the more
family
houses.
who owned Murder House, they were connected with wolves.
Correct.
And I can't remember their name, but the Murder House family.
The Durst family?
Yeah,
The
the
Dursts.
Fred Durst, that's right.
Fred Durst
Yeah, that's how I
family.
remember it.
They did it all for the nookie.
They did it all for the Murder House cult.
They did it all for the cultists. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can take that codex and stick it up your
Oh no.
My special power is the intersection of pop culture and music. So
Yeah.
you
That's
go.
why we're friends. I still have to let you in on that Gaston remake. Okay, continue.
What, were these the same dudes that we saw in the woods? No, I wouldn't know that because I've never seen them before. Okay. Alright. I guess I'll thank Ernest. Thank you, Ernest. We will consider these invitations. But I can't guarantee that we'll come.
Well, we look forward to seeing you. If you cannot make it tonight, please just send word. It would be much appreciated. But otherwise, we'll assume to see you tonight.
I'll have to check
And with
my
that,
schedule.
You know what happens whenever you assume things, Ernest?
He kind of gives a polite chuckle, nod of the top hat, and turns to leave.
You suck at following people, by the way. You should get better at it.
He just continues walking.
He's a sassy fella.
And with that, he rounds the corner, and you do not see him anymore.
Just kidding. I still have my hunter's mark on him.
Speaking of burger,
He's gonna not get too far.
Yep.
should we head to the Burger Master's house?
I'm gonna stop back at the inn and put clothes on. Now that I'm more awake.
Wait, were you walking around in like your
Yes.
pajamas?
Yes.
Like a little kid with a dog.
I woke up, I took a glass of water, I got a water skin, we're gonna go to the toy maker, I forgot to put on clothes.
Like mommy had to drag you out of bed, like, come on, we're
Yeah.
go to the store.
And I'm probably dragging the water skin on the ground behind me like a little kid like drags like their teddy bear. Yeah. Just like
Oh no.
I'm just like everything hurts and why you guys always let me drink and sleep with strangers and then you took me to the toy store and everything's awful. And I haven't had fresh baguettes in like a day.
Can I have like +7 medicine. Is there some way that I can concoct her something?
To kind of help her calm down.
Well, just to help her with this stupid hangover.
like with kids when they're like, I want my juice. She's like, I want my wine.
I'm just
Accurate.
Let's
see.
I don't know, like medicinal Vicodin or whatever.
J-House has had a very bad time from the moment they got to Barovia. Like,
This is true.
like
Yeah, she needs something. Can I make her something or try to?
Let's see.
Like, she was pretty stable before, and then Barovia happened, and she's just unraveling at the seams.
Accurate.
I got real life tears.
You know what? I will say, if you would like to, you have a spell called Enhance Ability, where you can grant the blessing of an animal. And one of those is Bear's Endurance, which increases temporary hit points as well as Constitution checks.
Okay.
I would say Constitution and Fortitude are something that go along with hangovers. If you wanted to try and, rest a hand on her shoulder and do that, that might help. Alternatively, you can try and go back to the Blue Water Inn, talk to Danica, see what materials she has on hand, and see if maybe you can concoct some kind of like herbal tea that may help lessen the symptoms.
Right, that's more of what I had in mind.
Okay.
I love you, JS, but I'm not going to use a level 2 spell on you for a hangover.
So
She's just gonna
You all-
pout.
So you all head back to the Blue Water Inn.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get you dressed, hon. I'm going to send her upstairs to go get some clothes on.
And now she's like, now that it's finally dawned on her that she's walked all through Valaki like this, she's just straight embarrassed. She's just like, nobody told me. No, I'm not even wearing shoes.
This is so cute.
Just hilarious. Can I like go to the kitchen and see what Danica might have that I can medicinal up?
Yes. So while she's getting ready, go ahead and roll a medicine check.
Please. That's a 2.
I was gonna say that's with a +7. That's kind of impressive.
I told y'all, all of my best stuff rolls shit
Oh my god.
every time. Whatever.
Okay. So you scrounge around and you don't find anything inside. So you kind of head out
Okay.
back for a second. Go ahead and roll a nature check.
Yay!
There you go.
So you manage to find it's a type of fungus that when distilled and strained through a black tea has been known to help with headaches and migraines and that kind of stuff.
Do I find anything around that would calm her, like something stronger than a chamomile, or could I, with my druid
More
powers,
wine.
Can she make a poppy seed tincture, which is totally different from opium, but could she do it?
Yes. Are there beautiful poppy flowers anywhere around here?
I mean, in Barovia, stuff kind of struggles to live, so beautiful poppy.
Yeah, Jayas struggling to live right now.
Could I druid craft a poppy?
You manage to go ahead and you reach into the earth, find some planted seeds, and use your druid craft to kind of pull them forth from the earth and help them grow. So it's
Okay,
not many,
yes.
but it's enough.
Okay.
Enough for one for sure.
All right. So I'm gonna go back inside. I'm gonna brew all this shiz together,
Okay.
and I'll put some honey in it, so
Nice.
it goes down a little easier.
Okay.
Aw.
I'm gonna take it up to her room, and just knock on the door.
No.
I'm gonna be just braiding my hair. I still have just like the bottom lip out. And be like, you guys
Just
didn't
having a
tell
time
me.
of it.
You didn't tell me. And that was such an embarrassment.
Okay. Knocking really hard.
Oh, well,
Can I
you can.
come in?
Oh, yeah, come in. What?
Okay. I made you. I
Oh
know
god.
that you've had a rough day, but I made you a little something, and I promise it will make you feel better. It might be a little sour, but I did put some honey in it. Be careful, it's a little warm. There you go.
Okay. And then she's gonna, just take it back because she only chugs drinks. She does not sip.
Just slams it back.
Yeah, just slams it back.
And like pounds it on the table.
Yeah.
I just
Another.
look at him like, don't break it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And I'm just gonna like rub her back a little bit. And I'm gonna say, you'll feel better soon. And then I'm just gonna turn around and close the door and let her finish getting dressed. And I'll say, don't forget your shoes.
My feet are so dirty. And I'm gonna assume that this is gonna work.
That's all up to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. I'll say that E did her work on this. Yes, it is helpful and alleviates the headache that you're feeling, and you also feel a little bit more chill, a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
There's a new Jayas in town. Wink.
Day 1 of E becoming a dealer.
Herbalism kit.
You're right.
Nice. Alright. Jayas will finish pulling herself together. She's now feeling more okay about things. And she'll saunter
Okay.
downstairs and be like, alright, let's do this.
Okay.
Okay. And you all head over to
The
the Burgermaster's, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Burgermeister.
Bur-
Burgermeister, Meister Burger.
Burger Master.
That one.
Okay.
Yeah. Gonna head to his place.
So you walk through the town streets. Nothing of interest happens. It's a very uneventful walkover. You arrive at the mansion of the Baron, and this mansion has walls that are plastered of stone that display many scars where the plaster has fallen away from age and neglect. Drapes cover every single window, including a large arched opening above the mansion's double entrance doors. You approach past the iron portico and wander into the grounds, basically, and approach the front door.
Okay.
Do we knock?
Who wants to knock?
I'll knock. I'll just. Or actually, no, I do that.
Alright, he's feeling good now.
Okay. So you knock at the front door, and a servant comes and kind of opens the door for you and goes, "Oh yes, you must be the rest of the those joining us for the afternoon discussion. Please, please come in." And as you enter, you kind of see this entrance hall and vestibule that have framed portraits that are adorning the walls of a grand foyer, which features a wide staircase with a sculpted railing. A long carpeted hall attached to the foyer stretches almost the entire length of the mansion and has several doors leading away from it, including one at the far end. Along the sides of the walls, you see the remnants of what look to be sticks and twigs and wicker that were probably used in yesterday's festivities.
Mm-hmm.
The servant leads you past a... Let me find my map here.
Oh, Lord.
We have way too many maps, y'all.
Never.
Nothing can be worse than, was it the wine with the map and, like, the levels were just all janky and it's hard to keep a track of.
Yeah. Here we go. Burgermaster's Mansion. This is what I need. Alright, cool. So, first floor. Good lord. Okay. So you walk into the vestibule, and as you kind of are taken down the hallway here, where did they take you? Okay. So you walk in, and from the first hallway door, so down the hallway on the right-hand side, you hear what appears to be like the laughter and giggling of one woman in particular, and then kind of silence. It's a little odd. But before too long, you're taken into a parlor to wait for the burgomaster. And this parlor contains a fine array of furnishings and draperies with an overall feminine touch. And you're kind of waiting while basically you're waiting to be received.
Yeah. Should we see this map or do we not have it? Okay.
Yet.
Okay.
No, not
Yeah.
yet. It hasn't popped up yet. You're fine.
Yeah, we're gonna do a lot of theater of the mind today stuff.
Gotcha.
Okay, that's fine. Totally fine. Okay.
Okay, so you're all waiting, and before long, Isaac and Irina, or Ismark and Irina, come and collect you. And the servant takes you down the hallway, past the open chamber where a woman who appears to be nobility is entertaining several commoners. They're having tea, she's telling stories, and as you go by, go ahead and roll an insight check for everybody.
Ooh.
Geek?
Would this be the burger mistress?
Potentially.
What did you say? Insight?
Yeah.
Dirty 20.
Oh, okay. There we go. Okay, so Janaga and Amelia, as you are wandering past the hall and you look in there, you can see that all of the common women sitting at the table appear to be almost uncomfortable. Like, they do not belong here, and it's very obvious that the woman at the far end is dressed in noble regalia. She is very likely the Baroness of the house. And she's making all sorts of jokes, and she looks like she's just eating up the praise and the laughs from the ladies here. But the ladies at the table almost seem afraid of her, and they do not want to be here. Or at least that's the sense that you get. So down the hallway a little bit further, a servant opens a chamber door, and you enter in a den, which has padded chairs and couches which line the wall of this cozy, carpeted den. The room reeks of pipe smoke, and mounted on the east wall is the head of a very angry-looking brown bear.
He does not like this.
So as you all sit and wait, one of the servants comes by and provides you with wine and water, and is kind of you notice it's probably been 5 minutes since you've been brought in here, and they've been taking good care of you, but you kind of expected the burgomaster to be here by now, especially because he's the one that set up this whole thing. And another 5 minutes goes by, and another 5 minutes goes by. And eventually, the burgomaster enters with his two very large hounds.
I'm gonna scowl at him.
Let's see.
Or not scowl, just like super hardcore RBF.
The ultimate side eye.
Right?
This is gonna be good.
Yeah, I feel like though she's not showing it, Jayaz is having like an internal fit. Like I've been sitting here
Yeah.
the whole time.
Oh no, she's so chill right now. Like nothing is gonna bother her.
Everything has a happy face on it.
Yeah, she's just like, God, look at these ladies and these bear heads and
He's
like,
hideous. Oh my
Yep.
god.
Wow. He is
Baroness
buggers.
looks better than him.
Is he human?
How does he
Liz.
like not?
The held on the left face, like just I don't know. It looks funny
Yeah.
to me.
So the woman on the left, you saw entertaining. That
There's
is
my
the
boy.
Baroness, and the Baron is to the right. And these two ginormous mastiffs also step in as the Baron comes into the room.
Yay, puppies!
And he is honored guests. It is so lovely to have you here. Irina and Ismark have spoken so highly of you and how you helped them escape from Barovia, from underneath the Devil's Trod. Very, very fine work. Absolutely wonderful. And it is my true belief that upon your arrival to town, Pelor has blessed this city at yesterday's festival. I've already begun our next festival. I have people working on the plans for it right now, and it would be an honor to me if you would be a part of it.
In what capacity?
Oh, our honored guests, I would have you ride at the front of the procession. I'd have everyone recognize that you all have been pivotal. I've spoken with Danica, I've spoken with Erwin and what they've done for the Wizards of Wines. You've brought joy back to our town and really helped push happiness to our communities here. And I don't know if you've heard, but the only way to survive is to just remind ourselves of the good. All will be well.
So, what's the theme of the next festival?
I believe the next theme, I'm going to see if maybe we can't really lift the town's spirits and perform a hanging of a vampire. Now, obviously, vampires are very hard to come by. Lord Strahd does not leave his castle, but perhaps making a mockery of his perception of things and what the town believes him to be. Show him for the devil he truly is, and remind everyone the only way to protect ourselves is to revel in the joy that we have and absolutely show Strahd that we are not afraid of him.
Do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, that seems a little spicy.
But of course, I mean, Pelor has blessed this town. Strahd would never come near here. It's impossible. He can't. There's no way.
What makes you think
Well,
that?
so there is potentially one way. And he kind of closes the door to the den and stands in front of the bearhead with his two giant mastiffs at his side. He goes, I don't know how long you've been in town. I get the sense not long from talking to Ismark and Arena. And they both kind of nod. But there is a conspirator amongst our ranks. Lady Wachter has always been a very strong supporter of Lord Strahd. And I get the sense that she's been working on convincing the town that all will not be well. And she undermines me at every attempt. But to do anything to her publicly would be absolutely awful form. The city would tear me apart limb from limb if I did anything to her. Many people have taken up to be part of her book club, which is ridiculous.
I like books.
Is there one book in the town?
Oh.
But the people like her, and I can't be mad at them about that. It's worth noting that I think that she's been behaving awful strange as of late, and two of my servants have gone missing. Both our butler and head of housekeeping have gone missing. And I can't help but feel that she's undermining my efforts, and she's done something to them.
Now, excuse me, Mr. Burgermaster, sir.
Please, call me Baron Vargas Volakovich, or Baron Volakovich if you would like.
Can we just stick with Burger?
Yeah, so, yeah, friend, you said that if you did anything publicly, the people wouldn't be too happy. She's like a power here?
She's
some
also
influence?
from a well-to-do family. I don't know where her family's origins come from. However, she is a prominent figure within the town, and as you can imagine, anyone that the devil Strahd, and he almost spits the name out vulgarly, takes an interest in, he tries to ply them and is probably using them to infest my town with something awful, some darkness.
Some strong words. Okay. Interesting.
How do you think that us being a part of your procession would make any bit of a difference? Just to bring joy to people?
It'll bring joy to people, and it'll also send her a very strong message that her type is not welcome here, and that you have aligned with me.
Oh, I see.
Mr. DM.
Yeah.
This lady's the one that invited us to dinner, right?
You are correct.
Yes.
Okay. That's all.
That is all.
So, let me get this straight. You want us to make public announcement of political ties?
Not in such a clear-cut kind of way. I would just simply have you be part of my procession. She'll get the message. Our people will just see that strong, capable adventurers are in support of the local leadership. New protectors in this age where we have been so blessed by the gods.
And what's in it for us? This seems kind of like a job. At a job, you would get paid.
Well, we can of course discuss compensation if that's what you're looking for.
Okay.
Ultimately, I'm just asking for your time and to make you popular faces within the town, as if you weren't already becoming them, whether or not you knew.
Great.
I hate to be the like person who actually knows what they're talking about. We have to get Avrina to that one town so she, is out of Strahd's reach.
Yes, she's told me. I think that it's safest if she stays here, however. As you can imagine, with the blessings of Pelor falling upon this city, where else would be safer?
But you
Strahd
said
would come.
what's her face is want to support Strahd, so no, it's not really safe for her here.
We'll root her out. But I think that that's a big part of something we should keep in mind. That she's much safer here than she would be on the roads on the Svalak Road, for example. Or even if she does reach Kresik, there's nothing there for her. It's just further away.
Now, could we do like, would it be like an insight check to like kind of just get a feel for this guy? Like, is he like shady as fuck, or like he really wholeheartedly believes that this is the best thing for the town?
Go ahead and roll insight.
Say, cool. Let's do this. Great. All right. You know what? It's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine.
Does anybody else want to also try and make an attempt to kind of discern his character?
Me.
I would like to.
Before we play the next time, could you recode my dice to like go over 10?
Nope.
Okay.
This is way more entertaining.
Great. Cool.
I only get it when it doesn't really matter.
Okay, so 20, 21, and Charlie, what did you roll?
14.
14. Okay. Amelia, go ahead and roll with advantage because you're from nobility. You kind of understand these types of situations and environments.
Natural 20.
Much better.
Oh my
Holy
God.
shit. Okay.
Wow. Thanks, guys.
So Janaga and E, you both, you recognize the type of person he is. He is definitely pompous. He's a bit of an asshole. But he's genuine. He honestly believes that he's protecting people and that his city has been blessed because of the work that he's been doing. However, Amelia, you kind of take that a step further in that not only does he firmly believe this, to argue with him would be dangerous. Like, he seems like he's almost evangelical or fanatical with how firm he is in these beliefs.
He has
And
like
given
a
that
god
he's
complex.
the leading, yeah, he's got a bit of a god complex. He's a bit of a like, this is my town. I will keep it safe. I know what's best for my people. And someone in that position of power with the resources he has is definitely someone you do not want to make an enemy of. So you get the sense of, yeah, he's genuine, but he's also dangerous.
Okay.
Wow.
Sounds like we need to keep our cards close to our chest for a while.
I'm gonna like kind of go to like I'm fixing my hair, but I'm gonna on the earring like under my breath be like, why is everybody in Barovia just so weird?
I'm just gonna try to cover my mouth and pretend like I sneezed instead of laughed.
The burgomaster kind of starts
I thought
again.
you were gonna make me do a check.
No, you're fine.
No.
He's so full of himself, he wouldn't have noticed. Like, he wouldn't have made any mention of it. The burgomaster kind of continues to explain, there is a way, of course, that we could solve this permanently that doesn't require you to be a public figure, so to speak. Lady Wachter is very clearly and on her face an agent of Strahd's, in my opinion. She tends to collect very powerful people and make sure that they're in the town's good graces. She also has this book club that started recently, and people seem to just be absolutely fanatical about it.
I do love books.
Perhaps you could work your way into her good graces. I imagine that she's probably got you on her radar already. Perhaps you can get to know her and make a decision for yourselves on whether or not you think that she's safe for this town.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell us to kill her.
I was.
I mean, if something terrible were to happen to her, I wouldn't think anything of it.
So are we
And
killing
you would
her? Or are we
certainly have
trying
the
to?
support.
What are we doing?
You would have the
I can
support of
kill
the
her if
Baron.
you want to kill her.
We're not killing anybody yet.
The Baron is saying he wouldn't, like, if anything happened to her, that would be just awful. But his eyes are telling you, like, yeah, fucking do it.
Yeah.
His words are saying, "Oh, what a shame," but he's winking really hard, like.
Yeah.
Well, if
Exactly.
she's that dangerous and if she supports Strahd, I'm all for killing her. So.
Cool. This is great. This is fine.
Darina kind of speaks up for a moment. She says, I've met Lady Wachter. I do think that she has nefarious purposes. And while I would never impose on you all to try and take on such a gruesome task, I think it's better for the safety of these people in this city if we discovered her true motives.
I don't even think I like these people.
You just say out loud because you're high.
Yeah, I say it low, but like out loud. Yeah, I'm just like,
Right.
I don't even like any of these people.
Yeah.
That medicine makes your mouth so loose.
Like Lady Wachter. She's talking about Lady Wachter.
The Burgermaster just assumes that he's speaking about her because it is beyond his belief that anyone would ever speak ill of him in his own household.
Mr. Meister.
Yes,
You-
please, you can call me Vargas. We've become such close friends over the last few minutes. I would be remiss.
Yes.
Not really.
We
Friends.
have. I mean, he knows how to schmooze.
He is definitely a smarmy asshole. Like you pegged him from a mile away.
I bet he
Right.
smells bad.
He smells a lot like tobacco. Like he smells very heavily of tobacco, like pipe smoke. Yeah.
Okay.
He sounds like my uncle. I don't like him.
Aw. Did you happen to have someone in your employ named Ezek?
Yes, he's kind of my right hand,
The
for
right
lack of a
hand.
better word. Yes, he helps me conduct business. He helps run errands for me. He protects my family. He lives in this very house, actually. He is currently out running errands on my behalf. Why do you ask?
Oh, no particular reason. I just heard mention of him in the town. Just talk. That's all. Nothing.
That's fair.
Really nothing.
Some of the townspeople are afraid of him because he does perform my will, and sometimes that is not always well received. But it is important to the town and to the safety of my people that we be firm and root out any suspicion, and he helps with that.
This guy, he's got like one beefy arm. Is this guy?
The Burgermaster, his facade kind of cracks slightly, and you see a twitch on his lip, on like the corner of his cheek. And he goes, yes, natural deformity at birth, unfortunately.
Is that what they call it these days?
He doesn't appreciate it when attention is drawn to it, but it has its values.
Can I pet the dogs?
Go ahead and roll animal
handling.
Wait, I think that's something I actually am good at. Just kidding.
I mean, I'm good at it, but I'm not gonna try because everything that I'm
19.
Christian at.
Yeah, and that's how JL lost a hand.
So, Amelia, you stand and you approach the mastiffs, and you kind of bow slightly and reach your hand out, and they sniff, kind of looking to the Burgermaster to see what his reaction is. Like, are these people threats? Are they family? Are they friends? Whatever. And the Burgermaster kind of gives a slight nod, and the Mastiff bows his head underneath your hand, and you scratch the top of his head a little bit.
Yay!
Can I ask also about the toy store in town? We happened to go by earlier.
Am I still
What are your
carrying
thoughts
all my
on it?
goodies?
Well, we went back to the inn.
Yeah, we went back to the inn.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Room in there.
The toy maker is fine. Linsky is a fantastic helper for the town. He's done much work for my festivals. He truly believes that, all will be well. Happiness is key to our way of life here, and maintaining that people be thankful for the days that we've given and the protection that we've received.
May I be frank with you?
Of course.
Why are they all so macabre? All of the toys.
Ah, I see what you mean. A lot of people outside of our town have not encountered joy in a very long time, and their interpretation of what brings them happiness is a bit off. What the toy maker has left are items that have not sold. However, you'll find that many children in town do have dolls and toys that are much more suitable for young children seeking happiness.
Okay. I just was curious about someone who's so concerned with a town being pleased and happy all the time. Why a shop like that would exist. I was just curious.
That's fair. Some of our people in town have interesting proclivities, and while those toys bring them joy, it is better to let those desires ease out in a fantasy setting rather than letting them take root in the minds of my people.
Ah, I see.
So, like, if little
Fair
kids play with the gallows toy, they're not gonna, like, just go hang somebody.
It's
No,
GTA.
however, I mean,
There was a gallows toy.
The
I want the
gallows
gallows
are-
toy.
Yeah, it was like had a dude that was hanging and everything.
I mean, the gallows are a real part of life here. It's part of how we maintain justice. I would never do something so bold in the town square. However, there's a need for discipline in town sometimes.
Cool.
Well,
Cool.
so,
As a reminder, this guy's not a great guy. He believes that happiness is mandatory citizen, and if you are not happy, you can be arrested for that.
Like that
So
Twilight
you
Moon
kind of-
episode, Think Happy Thoughts.
Yeah, so you can kind of get the sense of
Have you taken your joy yet?
yeah,
oh,
he's a little
no.
creepy.
Gotcha. Well, thank you, sir. And I think we had some other errands that we were gonna run today, and we'll, consider being the vehicle for your political agenda. So,
You?
and we'll get back to you. We know where to find you.
I look forward to it. Do you intend to seek an audience with Lady Wachter?
Yeah.
On your behalf, we would gladly do so.
Hmm.
I'm just
Well.
saying that. But y'all can tell that I'm just bullshitting him.
Mhm.
Well, I appreciate your offer, and perhaps I can make those arrangements. I will see what I can do.
Oh, that's not necessary. I think that if what you say is true about us having a reputation, we should be able to procure an audience on our own.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll reach out to us.
He kind of thinks on it for a moment. You're right. That would be a bit bold and a bit obvious if I were to intervene, I suppose.
And you wouldn't want to be
That's
connected
exactly my
to
thinking.
our meeting anyway, in case anything unfortunate happens to anybody.
Agreed. Discretion is important, after all.
Cool.
Well, thank you for everything, sir. Until we see you next time.
A pleasure. Mandy and Adrian, go ahead and roll a... This is going to be a weird one. Arcana check
Oh.
as you're about to exit the house.
Yeah, can I luck point this? Just
Sure.
for...
Yeah, go ahead.
We need it, yo.
Oh, boy!
Okay.
Oh.
So, as you're leaving the house, for neither of you, arcane magic is not your specialty.
Mm-mm.
However, as you exit the house and are leaving, you feel this twinge, kind of like the hairs on the back of your neck stand up a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
of electricity in the air, and then you hear a very muted pop from the third story of the mansion. You kind of look up, and there's a window up there, and there's a brief flicker of light.
Hmm.
That was it.
So like a pop, kind of like an old timey flash bulb going off, maybe like that kind of.
Andy,
Yeah.
I think our board disappeared on Twitch.
Oh no! Oh, did I hit a number?
Hit the button.
You know, sometimes I use numbers, and oh,
Okay, on the lookout.
I just have to rebind something. That's what it is. Thanks.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, okay, so it's like that kind of pop, and there's my dog. Hey, babe. Hi,
Yeah,
babe.
flashbulb.
And then the hound
Okay.
started barking as we walked out.
Accurate.
Puppy.
Hi, baby. You want to come here? Yeah, come here. Hi. Sure.
I'm so sad there's no webcam. I guess puppy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a good boy.
So that brings us to the afternoon. You have Lady Voctor's invitation for dinner, or you can explore other places in the town. Do we want to take a brief break since it's almost 7 o'clock for you guys?
Yeah, if we
Yeah.
could take a break so I can get a food.
Okay.
I gotta feed my
Um,
kids.
Aw, you're
might-
kidding.
I might not get us into combat tonight because I don't want us to run too late, but
Right.
Okay.
That's cool.
we are, depending on how the story goes, on the cusp of doing a couple different things. So
Okay,
Oh, okay.
so we will be back
So excited we're
in
progressing.
15 minutes?
Yeah, we'll be back
7:15,
15
4:15.
minutes. Yeah. So
Okay.
quarter after, and then we'll pick back up, decide what you guys want to do, and then we'll play through to a good story beat, and I'll end it somewhere close to like 8.
Okay, cool,
Okay.
cool, cool.
Okay.
All right,
Great.
we will be back.
right?
I really wish I had started it back up as you yelled for the horde.
No,
It would have
no
been
horde.
it would have been so great.
Fun.
Witchy's alliance. No horde.
Sorry, we're a little bit late, guys. Jenna's having some internet difficulties, but we're gonna just keep going for the horde.
And I just smashed and peeled an ant off of my wall, so that's cool too.
Nice, nice.
Anywho's. Okay. So it is mid-afternoon. You have just left the Burgermaster's mansion. What would you guys like to do?
Are we gonna go back to the inn and then go to Lady Fiona Walk?
Yeah,
could we get a spelling on that?
Absolutely. So it's kind of like German-ish. It's Wachter.
Wachter.
Mm-hmm. Wachter.
Wachter.
Okay, I had an
Lady
L.
Wachter.
Wachter.
Lady I have to kill.
That makes more sense now.
You do not have to stab everybody.
But she's bad.
Supposedly. I don't know. She likes books, so there's that.
You gotta learn. I think personally the books might be a guise for something, but hey, we'll see.
Yeah. Remember that time a book tried killing me? Or did kill me? Oh god, that was great. So I think we should go to her party.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't actually read the invitation, so I don't know what time that's at. I don't know if there's anything else we want to do.
This is your chance to kind of consider. So we're in the middle of the day, so we'll assume that y'all are back at the Blue Water Inn talking about this, either in your rooms if you want privacy, or down in the
Privacy.
in the bar if you don't.
Yeah, privacy.
Okay.
This is starting to get political.
Man.
Political.
JS doesn't roll with the political agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Neither
So
do I, or does E. So, okay. Just in the interest of keeping everything copacetic between all these different weird people that live here.
everybody's so weird here.
Everybody is weird here. I think we should go to this get together. But we should be sure to put on armor. Just in case.
I don't know what you're
Because
talking
we have
about.
no idea what nefariousness this lady might be into.
But it's a nice dinner. We can't wear armor to a nice dinner.
Sure you can.
Under our clothes. And he specifically said for us to come as we are. And I'm pretty sure that people in town understand us to be some kind of, traveling, like, warriors or something. I don't know what they think.
So we can't get dressed up nicely again? Fine.
If you have slight armor, of course you can. I mean, I've seen some corsets that look like they could be
Impenetrable.
pretty intense if you wanted to perk your ladies up or anything. But I think that it's important that we keep, like, hush-hush any opinions, strong opinions.
Yeah.
I'm saying that for myself, too, because I'm real bad to let whatever I think show all over me. What do you guys think? Do you think we should go?
I think we definitely should go. I don't know if there was anything else we wanted to do before we went. I don't think we should let her know that we've talked to the Burgermaster. She probably knows we have associations with Irina and Ismark.
Right. I mean, we brought them here.
Yeah. But I think we should try to go get more information about this book club. And I don't know, go from there. She might be our ticket to get closer to Strahd.
So, just to know, are we wanting to confront Strahd, or do we want to try to skirt him and get Irina out here?
We still need to get Irina out of here. We just also need to be ahead of him at all times.
Okay. Yeah, I think that we'll know more when we go hang out with her and her group. But I think that we should just go prepared.
Mhm.
She sounds dirty. I don't mean the good kind. Stop it, Adam. Stop.
I didn't say anything. I said nothing.
Your face said
I'm
it
letting-
all.
I am letting this narrative go wherever y'all drive it.
Okay. Well, it ends there. Those were tired.
Ew.
Surging to a halt. Okay, I'm stopping. So fast forward to what? 7?
Yeah, I was gonna say, so about 7 o'clock in the evening, y'all are gonna head to Lady Voctor house.
Oh,
The
wait.
Lady
I
Voctor's
keep
house, or
forgetting.
House Voctor.
Did we want to try to find Rictavio? Are we just letting... Did we need anything with him? Or, like...
Oh yeah.
He's just a person of
That's
interest?
him. So if we need to find him, it's easy enough. He does stay at the same place we do.
Because the monkey needs food.
Let's try to see if we can. Let's see if he's here before we leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ask Danica maybe if she knows where he is. If he's not here.
So you go down to the bar area. You ask Danica if she's seen Rictavio, and she kind of leans over the bar top. It's a late evening. There's a couple people in the bar, but she just kind of points up. Oh yeah, he's in his room. You can just head upstairs and knock and see if he's available.
Oh, okay.
How about we don't knock?
Oh gosh.
That'd be fun.
I'm sure we'll get to stab soon. We are in an inn.
I don't
This is
want
where
to
we are
kill him.
sleeping.
I just want to scare him.
Why?
Cause I'm bored.
She hasn't
Fine.
stabbed anybody in days.
I'm
If it'll
about to
keep your
stab
hand
you.
in check, just if it'll keep your hand. Hey, I entangled you once. I could do it again.
Good times.
Let's see. If it'll keep your hand in check, just go ahead. Just go barge in.
Yay! Let's go.
Okay. So you go up. You try to force the door open. How do you approach the door?
I just try to open it. Is it not opening for me?
Nope. The door's locked.
Can I pick?
Wow, maybe you could pick the lock since you're such a great rogue.
Go ahead and roll a proficiency check with your thieves' tools. So your roll plus your intelligence plus 2. Or plus 3, I think, now, because you're all above 5th level.
So I rolled a 13, so it's plus my intelligence plus 3?
Yeah.
Okay, so plus 6, so 19.
Okay. So you go up, you start picking the lock, and you are definitely moving the tumblers around. You can feel them click 1, click 2, and you're familiar with this lock. There's about 5 tumblers altogether. As you are about to hit the 3rd one and lock it into place, the door opens. And before
she's
you
crouched there.
That's no fun.
is standing the older man, Rictavio, kind of smiling down with a warm smile. And he kind of chuckles a little bit and goes, "Can I help you with something?"
I'm just standing behind her, like giggly.
So are the remaining 3 of you just kind of piled behind her, like standing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jayos is still, like, very much feeling whatever E gave her.
Yeah, that was good shit.
It was some good shit.
Okay.
What can I say? I know my herbs. Don't take that out of context.
Yeah.
It's not true.
So he asks, "Can I help you with something?"
You need to feed your monkey.
And for a moment, he kind of is like taken aback, like, "Wait, what? Oh, you are absolutely right. I take it you went and saw Blinksy. I will run something over this afternoon or this evening. Thank you for reminding me. It has been a few minutes since I've been over there." He kind of chuckles slightly. "My name is Rictavio.
I walk
Pleasure
into
to
his
meet
room.
you. Come on in. Apparently." So he, inside of the room, is a single bed with a footlocker, a desk with a few books open on it, and he sits down at the desk, kind of turns the chair to you all, goes, so, if you don't mind, could you close the door on your way in?
I'll close the door.
I like how we really had to stop and think. Like,
I waited.
I was trying to figure out who was closer to the door because I was already in there.
Mhm.
Sorry.
So you all come into this room, and it is not super large, but it is definitely probably the nicest room in the Blue Water Inn as far as accommodations are considered. As the door closes, he takes off his glasses and kind of polishes them a bit. And he goes, I'm willing to bet that the toy maker is not as discreet as I had asked him to be. And
depends
he kinda
on what
looks-
you're talking about.
He kind of looks and gets a feel for the room. So I'm not the only one in Barovia that stands out these days. Where are you all from?
Oh, here and there.
Oh, I was gonna just say that. God damn.
So here and there, but definitely not from here.
Like,
That would be
there and also there.
and further there.
Everywhere.
So
How
you
Wow.
know
about
that.
yourself?
We're not from
Well-
here. Ignore them. We're not from here.
We're not from around these parts, you could say.
So he.
That's what you just told him. Yes, he understands that.
We like to travel.
So that makes 5 of us. I introduced myself as Rictavio. That is mostly true. Suffice it to say, you know as well as I do that once we fall into this realm, we can't leave, can we?
Make the best of it.
You were summoned here?
So where
I
are you
was also summoned, but let's say I made it a little bit more obvious that I was hoping to be found, and my plan worked. I am Rudolph van Richten, and I am here to slay the Devil Strahd.
Could I do a scuffed insight check to see if he's telling the truth? Like he's...
Yeah, Jaz, go ahead and roll an insight check, and E, I'd like you to roll history, please.
I don't know why I try. Like,
Me either.
So,
Rolls.
E, you're actually, you hear the name,
Mhm.
and you are reminded of a story that you heard of in a previous life about the great vampire hunter Rudolph van Richten.
Oh, I know that life. I know the life that I would have heard this from.
Uh-huh. So you aren't super familiar with him, but the name rings a bell, and you do know that he is a vampire hunter, and one of some renown, not just like someone who's killed 1 or 2. He's built a bit of a reputation of being an effective slayer of vampires.
Cool.
Enough that lesser creatures, vampire spawn, who are familiar with him would definitely be afraid.
Sorry.
are you saying this as E? Like,
No. She's not drunk. That sound only comes out when she's sauced. So, but no, she definitely has awe on her face, though. And she tries to be coy and say, I am familiar with that name. Because she doesn't want further inquiry as to how she would know who he is. I think I've
So-
heard that name before.
Given that I am in Barovia and that there's a rather looming threat over us and that we can't leave unless that threat is addressed, you can imagine why I'm here.
Do you know
Strahd has
how
been.
we got? I'm sorry. Sorry,
Oh,
go ahead.
that's okay. Strahd has been a blight on humanity for centuries at this point. He's lasted for hundreds of years. And the people of Barovia have suffered his tortures and had to live with the damage that he has done to this place. And I seek to bring justice to this region.
Everything's fine.
Do you know who summoned you here?
I was brought in by the Vistani. I tricked them into taking me along with them. The Vistani traditionally do a lot of Strahd's dirty work. They find him new playthings. They bring him into this realm. He intentionally seeks out beings of power and likes to play games of cat and mouse with them.
Oh, that's
Keeps them
great.
entertained.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like anybody we know.
The Vistani seem like lovely people, and that's how they bring you in. Not long after, they are turning over everything they know about you to Strahd, and his game begins.
We had to have a drink with them, didn't we, Jazz?
Look, these things happen. I'm just saying.
But, more importantly, the reason why I reveal all of this to you. You seem to be his most recent obsession, and whether or not you've noticed it, he's been watching you. And the circumstances beyond your arrival are no happy accident. I noticed what you did yesterday at the festival, and he's looking at you, E. And giving false hope to these people is going to bring his wrath upon this city in no short order. I have reason to believe that something is going to happen soon, but I have yet to find any evidence or any plans of anything that might be happening. However, I've been frantically searching, trying to figure out what's happening next. I have set up a safe station outside of the town in a tower. My intention is to head there if anything goes awry. But
How are you getting your information?
so I've been in town for quite some time, and I've been doing a lot of research. Strahd's circles and his victims are well known within the Vistani, and for a stint of time, I found some that were trustworthy. Madame Ava, for one, seems to be one that you can trust. Esmeralda de Avenir is another one that if you ever come across her, she is a trustworthy companion. However, many of the Vistani have become corrupt over the years, and Strahd allows them to pass freely because he enjoys their certain joie de vivre, their joy of life, and how they live so vicariously through something that he can no longer do. In exchange for them bringing him playthings, he allows them to wander in and out of his domain, and also provides them with whatever they need while they're here. They're easily pliable after a few drinks, as you can imagine.
Sounds like somebody I know.
Yeah, yourself.
Okay, so I'm trying to just process all of this. Vistani, they suck. What the hell? What can you tell us about Lady Voctor?
Lady Voctor is an unabashed supporter of Strahd. She masquerades a book club as a way of holding almost cult-like meetings, being to drive fanaticism within the town. I don't know the specifics, however, it seems that Strahd is a very heavy component of this. From what I've been able to tell, she promises her victims, or her cultists, I should say, some kind of wealth or power or protection if they enter her fold. That's all I've been able to associate so far, though. To her, I am nothing but a traveling vagrant, and that's the way I'd prefer it.
She's shown interest in us.
You don't
Do you know
say.
why?
Lady Voctor surrounds herself with powerful people, largely because she looks for recruits for Strahd, tries and acts as his eyes and ears here within the town. But it would also serve as her own ends to be able to usurp the burgomaster and take over what she believes is her rightful position as head of this city. I imagine that if she's reached out to you, she wants to try and court you and bring you into whatever she has going on in an effort to take over the town and put herself in better graces with Strahd.
Everybody wants to use us for political gain.
Yeah, we were just trying to have a drink with some Vistani, and now here we are.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, I'm not here to use you at all. In fact, I'm hoping to help you. I want to slay the demon and escape back to our realm proper. However, he is much more powerful than I'd anticipated, and his unique attachment to his domain has given him abilities far beyond that I've ever seen from a specimen that I've hunted before. It will take more than just us combined in order to take him down, so to speak. To this end, I know of 3 relics that may help us in this endeavor, one of which I happen to have in my possession. If I know that you're trustworthy, perhaps I can show you what I've found.
How could we prove that?
Right.
Have any of you seen Strahd? Have any of you met him in person?
No.
Have you seen or otherwise felt compelled to do anything that you wouldn't do normally while you're here?
No, but I had a very weird dream about a man that kind of almost sounds like the person I saw.
Go on. What did you see?
I dreamt that we were in front of a castle, and when I looked up, there was a man on top of this castle in very elegant garments that were blood red in color. And the doors of the castle opened, and then we were engulfed in darkness. And that was the end of the dream.
He kind of takes a deep breath and focuses a little bit, and he kind of, the crease on his head kind of frowns, like it furrows a little bit, and he furrows his brow. And that does indeed sound as almost though he's inviting you to his domain. Sounds like he's finally ready to meet you. I don't know if you are ready to meet him yet. However, if he's that far along, then I can't waste time hoping that I'm trusting the right people. Strangers in this land are probably the best ally I'm going to find. He reaches into his desk, which has it opens kind of like a writing desk, and he pulls out a book. And in it, he pulls forth a book.
Ooh.
That seems to reek of magic power. This, he explains, is the Tome of Strahd. It's an ancient work penned in his own hand. It's a tragedy of how he came to this fallen state. The pages are very brittle, and the book itself is written in a lot of shorthand that I can't quite understand. Several paragraphs, however, I've been able to decipher, and he begins to start pointing out to some of the ones that he does get. And you receive a segment from the Tome of Strahd.
Oh boy. Look at all these handouts.
Does anybody want to volunteer to read out loud by any chance?
I will do it.
You got. Can you do it in your best Strahd voice?
Hang on.
Hey, I can make a real deep man voice. Just
You want to try it?
no.
I was gonna say, have you had to hear it?
My man voice is embarrassing because it's deep.
I will try to do Transylvanian. You want that?
I guess
Sure.
I'm gonna leave the script up for the viewers, but you could read the fake, transcript underneath.
Okay. All right. I am the ancient. I am the land. My beginnings are lost in the darkness of the past. I was the warrior. I was good and just. I thundered across the land like the wrath of a just god. But the war years and the killing years wore down my soul as the wind wears stone into sand. All goodness slipped from my life. I found my youth and strength gone, and all I had left was death. My army settled in the valley of Barovia and took power over the people in the name of a just god, but with none of a god's grace or justice. I called for my family, long unseated from their ancient thrones, and brought them here to settle in the castle Ravenloft. They came with a younger brother of mine, Sergei. He was handsome and youthful. I hated him for both. From the families of the valley, one spirit shone above all others, a rare beauty who was called perfection, joy, and treasure. Her name was Tatiana, and I longed for her to be mine. I loved her with all my heart. I loved her for her youth. I loved her for her joy. But she spurned me. Old One was my name to her. Elder and brother also. Her heart went to Sergei. They were betrothed. The date was set. With words she called me brother, but when I looked into her eyes, they reflected another name, death. It was the death of the aged that she saw in me. She loved her youth and enjoyed it, but I had squandered mine. The death she saw in me turned her from me, and so I came to hate death, my death. My hate is very strong. I would not be called death so soon. I made a pact with death, a pact of blood. On the day of the wedding, I killed Sergei, my brother. My pact was sealed with his blood. I found Tatiana weeping in the garden east of the chapel. She fled from me. She would not let me explain, and a great anger swelled within me. She had to understand the pact I made for her. I pursued her. Finally, in despair, she flung herself from the walls of Ravenloft, and I watched everything I ever wanted fall from my grasp forever. It was 1,000 feet from the mist. No trace of her was ever found. Not even I know her final fate. Arrows from the castle guards pierced me to my soul, but I did not die, nor did I live. I became undead, forever. I have studied much since then. Vampire is my new name. I still lust for life and youth, and I curse the living that took them from me. Even the sun is against me. It is the sun and its light I fear the most, but little else can harm me now. Even a stake through my heart does not kill me, though it holds me from movement. But the sword, that cursed sword that Sergei brought, I must dispose of that awful tool. I fear and hate it as much as the sun. I have often hunted for Tatiana. I have even felt her within my grasp, but she escapes. She taunts me. She taunts me. What will it take to bend her love to me? I now reside far below Ravenloft. I live among the dead, and sleep beneath the very stones of this hollow castle of despair. I shall seal shut the walls of the stairs, that none may disturb me. Well, that was a lot.
That's heavy.
Thank you. So as you can see, there are two relics that he's afraid of. Something with sunlight, and something of a sword. My hope is to find these two relics and use them in the battle against Strahd, but I do not know where they lie. My hope is to find out why he's become active after all of these years. He used to live deep within the castle. No one would ever see or hear from him. And lately, all three towns within Barovia have been attacked and beleaguered and assaulted by all manner awful things. Something has woken the Devil Strahd and gotten his attention.
How long
And I
has
aim
this?
to find out what it is.
Sorry, Rictavio Van Richten, sir. How long has he been reactive?
I I would say that my sources tell me within the last 10 to 20 years or so.
How long has he existed in this state?
He is ancient. There's no certainty, but one can assume thousands of years, perhaps.
Is that all?
So this sword, that was his brother's sword. Would it not possibly be buried with the brother?
Potentially. If it is a cursed sword that could do harm to Strahd, I fear he may have sealed it away, hidden it, gotten rid of it, tried to destroy it. However, I'm looking and listening for things that may give wisdom as to where it may be hiding.
Do you have any clues?
I don't currently. However, I feel that the Vistani might know something, and my hope is to try and weasel more information out of them if I can. If they know something, they will give it up to me soon enough.
I think they've already told someone.
What do you mean?
Didn't Madame Ava tell us where everything was?
Did
Madame
she?
Ava is a powerful mystic. If anyone would be to know where things are, it's good that an ally would know.
Oh dear lord.
Because she thought we could help destroy him, and then she read our cards and told us where we could find everything.
Yeah, but I remember the things. Oh my gosh.
That's okay. I can give you guys.
I remember. No, I found
Yeah.
it.
You have it?
I'm glad you keep notes.
Okay, so I have bullet points here, and if any of you remember, so the card reading, there was treasure from Mountain Wolf. There's the Sunlight Blade, treasure in a mill that we have the deed to, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
Old Raven, he will help.
We got
and enemy broken 1 Strahd. Yeah, that's what I have.
Do you
Well,
usually write your notes so cryptically?
Well, that's how it was read off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we befriended an old raven, guys.
You did.
We did.
Yeah. Okay. So, but Mountain Wolf, treasure from Mountain Wolves.
Wool or
And in the
wolves?
mill. Wolves.
Like
wolf.
okay.
Rictavio kind of speaks up. Yes, I discovered this tome at the Shrine of Mother Night. She has power here. She's part of the dark curse that holds this land, but part of her gifts is that she has cursed some people with an ailment, werewolves. I retrieved this from their den.
Oh shit.
Sorry.
I guess we really are the friggin' prophecy.
We really should go to the mill.
Yeah. We're gonna have to do that.
God, how far is that from?
It wasn't that far.
got our rings from Davian, right?
Yeah.
You did get rings from Davian.
Yeah, okay, so
And Davian did stress that he had that pendant that he gave you that would allow you to call him in your time of need.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
yeah, we have a ring of X-ray vision. I don't remember who all got the ring.
I have the. I just want to imagine again as we're trying to figure this out. Like we're all like, wait, what did you get? And like we're checking our pockets, like, oh, I got.
Mm-hmm.
So there's X-ray vision, 2 of feather fall, and 1 protection.
Yeah, I got the X-ray vision one because I was like,
okay, so I forgot to write that down.
Yeah. Now, Mandy, I believe Jayaz is the only one who knows about the additional pin that Davian gave you. Because you tucked it away where you keep your secret things.
Yes.
And you decided to not tell us what?
Secret things.
Looking for a booty call from Davey?
No, it's look. You guys know if something happens, left breast pocket.
Oh, geez. What is he rolling for? My gosh.
Sometimes rolls are just because things happen later in the narrative. I'm trying to figure out where they go. It's all
Okay.
fine.
Who got the feather fall ring?
I have the feather fall.
Me and Jayaz, yeah.
Okay, that's right. I did get the protection one. Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Okay.
One of us was like, Amelia's stealthy, so maybe she should get the feather fall just in case.
Well, I wanted the protected one just because I'm not a glass cannon, but
Yeah.
I need it. Okay. Oh my gosh, this is getting so good.
I know. I'm like looking at my inventory, and I'm like, where did half of this shit come from?
Oh, yeah, because like we've got so much good stuff, you guys.
I still have old Barovian clothes.
I'm still carrying like 8 ritual daggers, and I have the old ass Grick tentacle.
Ew.
I have 2 skulls, guys.
You have 2 skulls. Wait, where did the skulls come from?
And again, for story's sake, we're all going through our shit in front of Rictavio. Just like,
Oh, yeah.
where did I even pick this up?
We're
Yeah.
girls. We're digging through our purses. It's just I'm just going through like scrolls to like help remember like and like flipping through everything, making a mess, trying to put it all together.
I like
And
to
he's probably
imagine that E probably transcribes like during her trance. Like she keeps a
Yeah.
journal of everything that they've done every day.
So, and I'll probably just do it like with both of my hands. I want to think while I'm trance, and I just look at it the next day, and I have to try to figure it out.
Yeah, like while you're meditating, there's just like a floating feather. In
Yeah.
Just writing down.
That's so cool.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And I just have like a bunch of jars with like labels like half scribbled. Like, well, here's that elixir of dead rat, and you know.
Okay, so since I know from scrolls that I wrote, an old raven will help us. We need to go back to the winery and get in touch with him. Maybe he could fly out to the mill and search for us. We were told that Madam Ava would help us. She gave us these clues to help us. Yeah, I think that, gosh, but we got to go to this stupid dinner.
Well, so while you're thinking about the different ways that you could be doing this, you remember that Davian is, a were-raven, and the people that run the Blue Water Inn are also were-ravens. You could probably ask Danica to pass along a message.
Right.
So you don't have to go out of your way to do that. So while you guys are entertaining at the dinner tonight, someone could be doing recon and scouting and seeing if they can bring you back the sword.
So I was saying that in character because I don't know about the communication device. Right. So, yeah. Okay. I've got to go find Danica. And like, so E is just so focused on this task. So she like rushes out of the room to go and find her.
All right. So E rushes out downstairs, finds Danica behind the bar.
Can we speak in private, please?
Oh, of course. Please come back to the kitchen. Come.
Okay.
Just like an elegant whoosh down the stairs.
Yeah. At this time, it's it's before dinner, so it's not super busy. We'll probably say it's like 2-3 in the afternoon. So it's pretty quiet. Erwin's not even here. Erwin is probably out tending to the ground somewhere or something. So it's just you and Danica.
Okay, cool. So much has happened. Is there any way, and I'm gonna get on my earpiece, what should I say to her? What message? I'm gonna tell her, is there any way that you can get in touch with your father-in-law for us? We need to get a message to him very quickly.
Of course, I can ask one of the kindness to reach out to him. I can send one of my boys if it's urgent, but I can reach out to someone in an hour or two if it can wait.
I only want it to be done as long as it's safe and discreet.
Should
Nothing
be
that would
fine.
go noticed.
That should
Okay,
be
and
fine.
then I'm
We can make
gonna
something
ask the
happen,
girls
yes.
what should we say?
We're looking for the sword.
Right.
Uh,
We have the deed to this mill. We got word from someone trustworthy that treasure would be there. We're wondering if he could search it for
The sword of Sergei.
this sword of Sergei or the sunlight blade. It could be known either way. Or anything else that might be there. We don't know for sure if it would be this sword. We just have reason to believe that there might be something there that could help us with Strahd.
Then,
I
of
know
course.
that this is a lot to take in.
No,
and-
I think we can make that work. So the mill. We can send someone there tonight. If we think it might be dangerous, I'll send a few just to be safe.
Yes, I think that's wise.
We'll scout
Where
around
we-
and see what we can find.
Right. Please be careful where we obtained the deed for this mill. Take more than one person.
Of course. She kind of like lays a hand on your shoulder and gives a little squeeze. We'll do our best.
Okay. Thank you so much. I don't know how we'll ever repay you. We're going to do our best to help you and your town.
Of course. Anything is, of course, welcome. If we can help in any way, let us know.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you. And then I'm going to go back upstairs to the girls.
Meanwhile, I'm looking around Rictavio's room. Do I see anything that,
Bread.
no, do I see any bread? Do I see anything that would, interest me, stick out to me?
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and roll a. You're just kind of doing a cursory glance. At
Yeah,
the room, not,
like-
tossing pillows and stuff. Go ahead and roll a
Yeah.
perception check.
Yeah, perception.
Yes, one volume of Tusk Club. Uh,
God, I'm
so you kind of glance around the room, and you're not super obvious about it. You don't notice anything out of place. In fact, it's almost immaculately sanitized. There is, of course, clothing, a wardrobe, a bed. You can see various parchment and inks on Rictavio's desk, or Rudolph, depending on how you want to call him. And you notice that he does have a journal kind of sitting on top, and it intrigues you. You lean forward and kind of go to reach for it, but do you ask first, or do you just kind of grab?
I'm more grabby hands.
Okay. So as you pick it up, he kind of goes, "Oh, all of that is props, I'm afraid. Things to solidify my story as a performer here. It makes things more believable just in case anyone decides to go snooping around." And let me see if I have. I think I have some stuff from there. Ah, yes, here we go. So you kind of rifle through it and are skimming, and it is a collection of Rictavio's adventures, where he writes about various oddities that he's seen during his travels. As you skim through, go ahead and roll 2d6s and tell me what numbers you get.
Ooh, boy. I got a 9.
Well, what were the two
Wait,
numbers?
just oh, I'm sorry. For a minute I said that and was like, how did I get a 9 on a d6? Wow, wowie.
Oh,
No, hi. A 4 and a 5.
okay. So you learn about a half-orc woman named Gorbacha that could chew through iron chains.
Ooh.
And you also learn about a man, a small man with no legs, named Fillmore Stunk, who could drink entire casks of wine without getting drunk.
Oh my god, he's my hero. I'm gonna be
Did
flipping
you say
through.
that out loud?
Yes,
Xander?
yes, that's exactly it. She's but she's still all drugged up. So she's like, "Oh my god!" By
And she
the
was just kind of like,
7.
what is what?
And
Says
she's
it like I'm out of JoJo.
yeah,
And that's like as soon as E walks into the door, she sees her like, oh my god!
ah! And she's just like thumbing through the pages. But then I'm gonna be like, wait, Rictavio, Van Richten, friend. I saw you the other night.
Yes. In here or
Outside. With a cat? Question mark?
oh. Yes. My tiger actually got loose. That was unintended. I'm sorry.
It was a tiger. I'm gonna turn to Amelia and be like, I told you! It was a big cat!
You have a tiger?
I do.
He is this
Is it the monkey?
No, the monkey is a separate individual.
Okay.
But I'm
Where?
keeping the tiger secret
Where is the
and safe.
tiger?
Yes, is this
Uh,
what it possibly turn into later?
There is essentially like a junkyard or a dump down the road that I've parked what I've been calling my carnival circus wagon down the street. It's my cover as a traveling individual that supposedly would house all of my curiosities, so to speak. In reality, it's my home away from home, my base of operations, and where I keep my pets.
You have more than just the
Yeah,
tiger?
yeah, forget Strahd, forget Lady Vactor, all that.
That's a tiger!
I want to know more about Stunk, the non-drunk, and the tiger and the other pets, please. This is the joy that Barovia's been missing.
Please tell me that you actually say that.
Yeah, this is all in character, by the way.
Okay.
She's
I
having
take the
like
book from Jayaz and go sit on the bed and read it.
she's just having such a moment.
So, Amelia, you learn about a giant man-eating plant that has a most remarkable singing voice, and a werehair child, a boy who transforms into a rabbit on nights of the full moon.
Okay, cool. Can I skim through it a little bit and see if maybe Valentine or Night Rain stick out anywhere?
Yeah, you're looking at his. Are you looking at the Tome of Strahd, or are you learning at the? Or are you looking at the journal? Sorry.
The journal.
So as you scroll through, a lot of the writing is in shorthand. So it's not even like strict letters. There's certain things missing, and it might take some time to try and decipher this. But nothing stands out. You don't see the name immediately upon skimming through.
Okay.
Jayaz, on the other hand, Van Richten goes, yes, I did have other companions I had brought with me to help me scout. I had a hawk that I would send out on reconnaissance missions, but unfortunately one night he just never came home. Not shortly long after, I started noticing that I was being followed by other sorts of creatures. Bats in the evening, wolves prowling from the edge of the tree lines. I think I gathered some unnecessary attention at some point.
Have you ever considered you toning down your dress? You're a little
He kind of
flamboyant.
smiles. Yes, however, I'm just a traveler passing through. I'm bold and outrageous, but not a threat.
Oh, it helps
And I
you
think that's-
blend in to stand out. I understand.
Agreed. That's exactly what I'm going for.
It were. We didn't know what to think of you, but I do have a question.
Yes.
Obviously, you can see that I'm elf. So I don't sleep and dream the same as these others do. But I do go into a transitive state when I need it. And while I was in that state last night, I had a kind of a vision or feeling of a parting of clouds, a directed moonbeam that saw me in a way, and it left me with the most uneasy. Do you happen to have any idea? or what it could have been?
He considers for a moment. I'm not very in touch with the natural order of things here, unfortunately, but what I have learned is what nature there is has been perverted and twisted, whether it be by the dark curse affecting these lands, or the Svalak druids south of the Wizard of Wines that kind of corrupt the earth beneath them in their dark and depraved rituals. I heard that you were involved in the reclaiming of the Wizard of Wines. The druids had been attacking and looking for some sources of power from there. I don't know if they found anything, however, it seems that they've retreated back to Yesterhill, which is where they make their homes. It would not surprise me if something is afoot there, or perhaps the influence that you all have had is causing the land to reawaken. For the better, hopefully.
That does sound in line with what this vision was. That does make sense. Thank you for helping me see that more clearly. And just so you know, not all druids are bad. But I'm sure you know that.
He smiles, of course. I've had many traveling companions, and I have to say that the druidic folk are some of the kindest and most willing to share nature's bounty and all that.
Agreed. It's been a while since I've been with any of my...
It does sound as though we have a course of action. It sounds like you have a way of scouting not only for the weapons that we're looking for, but also an audience with quite the powerful woman this evening.
I think we should dress up for the occasion.
With armor.
Question.
Or at least protective rings.
Yeah, so I don't know. We want to go into this being kind of elaborate. Piccolo seemed quite well trained. Could we maybe borrow him for the evening?
I don't see why not. However, you might have to have that chat with Blinsky, as he's been watching him for me. I can swing by and see if I can retrieve him for you.
You know what? We'll bring the steak and vegetables. We talked to Blinsky earlier. He's a good guy.
The steak is actually for the tiger. The apples are for my horses outside, and I've just been sneaking a couple extra things too.
Gotcha.
The toy maker and my.
I feel like we could I don't know. Maybe I think we should bring the monkey tonight.
She just wants the monkey. That's all. She doesn't really want to help anyone with anything. She just wants the monkey.
Wants to train the monkey to go get her wine and bread, so she doesn't have to do it.
No, I'm just thinking ahead. If shit goes down, it'd be nice to have a monkey to help out.
It'd be nice to have a not high ranger.
That is the quote for the evening, by the way. If shit goes down, it'd be nice to have a monkey around. Tagline.
I mean, you either got hungover ranger or really drugged out ranger. There's just
there is no in between.
I just want a monkey. I mean, I don't think we could go in with the tiger. The monkey will be
Octavio just kind of immediately goes, no, definitely not.
That's how it's can E see it, and then she can transform into the tiger, and then she can just turn right back into herself.
I mean,
that is definitely something that, you can do.
It me.
Oh, that would be fun. So, okay, are we gonna get ready and go?
Yeah, are we gonna have another montage?
It sounds like we may be ready for a montage.
Yay!
Montage.
Montage. So with that, Rictavio excuses himself. He goes, to minimize suspicion, I will be performing in the inn tonight. Seeing what people I can do, what I can do to entertain the folks, and try and.
I heard that.
Yeah, yeah. I can't read chat and talk at the same time. It's bad. So.
Freudian. Hey, Adam.
Yep. Hey.
I
So
see you.
I will stay here and do what I can to keep everyone's focus. And I wish you the best of luck. I will do my best to keep my ear to the ground for any news that may impact your journey tonight. And with that, you all exit your separate ways and get prepared for what is sure to be a very interesting dinner and evening with Lady Fiona Wachter. And that's where we'll end for this week.
Dun dun
You
dun.
You guys, like puzzle pieces are coming together.
I'm trying to like, all right, for one, I'm trying to focus on the monkey, but I'm trying to focus on like all the different things, like, oh yeah, this, oh, the doll, oh, Irina, oh, Tatiana, oh wait, the tiger, oh, what about this,
Jenna, you didn't give me the doll.
yo, fuck that doll.
I will have you know, after you had to log off last week, like they immediately hit me up. Like I had taken them through and kind of laid some of these in the ground, and I'm like, this is gonna be amazing.
Just, you know what I think is gonna happen? Jaos is gonna have to like take a little hiatus. Like she's gonna like, you know, run off with a baker or something one week, and y'all bitches are gonna meet Anna, all right? And then nobody's gonna be joking about no fucking dolls anymore.
I've already met Anna, so I'm good.
Yeah, well, me and you were friends that campaign, which is
I
just
know,
so funny.
it's actually nice.
I just want to give some shout outs. We were rated, I will say.
Ooh.
Really?
Oh my, well, like not rated. Oh my god, Gabby's got like 12,000 messages deleted. Goddamn.
Oh no.
Oh, whoops.
Wait, was she like timed out?
She was also timed out for 5 minutes. We need to fix that.
Oh shit. I only see so much on mobile. But we just got, I think, like 3 subs, maybe.
What?
Nice.
Untime out. Hold on.
I was gonna say I don't even know how to do anything here.
Well, I'm on mobile because I'm running the stream. Serve.
No, I want to untime out. How do I untime out? Oh my god, I might have just made it worse.
No.
Oh,
No, that's
did
not
I
the
unban?
command.
Did I
Oh,
unban?
wait. No, it's
We
this
want
way.
time out, people?
Yeah, hold on.
There we go.
Did
You
you?
want
I-
time to come out for longer.
Oh, she's free. I did the wrong command.
Whoops.
Was Soda also timed out?
I don't know. I don't know how Twitch works.
Oh my
I
god.
barely know how to open a stream.
How to link people.
Untime. Okay. Oh my god.
Moderation.
No, I disabled the moderation,
Okay.
but it was too late.
Wait, hold on. What was that? I saw a notification. What? What's going on?
There we go. We're good.
All right, so everybody is untimed out. You know what it is? I only added Nightbot. This is behind the scenes now. I only added Nightbot to our channel so I could fuck around with it and like get comfortable with it. So when I used it on other channels, but then I never went and like customized our
Oh no.
our features, so it's on like high alert. So there's that. Yeah, so
Okay.
everybody should be untimed out. Everybody can
We
spam
are
emotes.
sorry. We got really into our story and we weren't looking at chat.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it happens.
I feel like we now have some like solid plot hooks where I didn't do such a good job of highlighting them before.
Yeah.
So I think we got some good layout now.
I just like, I'm sorry. Adam, I'm so excited.
This is what happens when I have 7 weeks to do it right and plan.
Again, I'm sorry guys that I was like really kind of preoccupied.
Hey, everybody had their
moved.
weekend.
You also
I
moved.
literally
Had their
moved. I am in a different place now, so that was like the first 4 weeks of it.
Hey, it's our poof.
Yes.
That's our elf poof.
Yeah.
There is a
Yeah.
See it,
My
but you'll
little-
see it when
my
we
little
battle.
Yes, let's spam all the emotes.
All the emotes.
this.
We could be
Uh,
free
so-
here.
thank you to everyone who tuned in after our really long hiatus. I hope this was something that you guys enjoyed watching and was at least interesting to listen to in the background while you're doing whatever else
Yeah.
or hanging out with us.
Which we actually did have a question. It wasn't in chat. It was like to me directly. But Adam, if you could explain, I guess, more about the Curse of Strahd campaign. Like it's a pre-made thing because somebody who I won't mention by name, Elle, was asking about it, or her boyfriend was actually asking about it. That it's like a pre-made thing.
Wow.
So, Curse of Strahd is an adventure that is a classic module for D&D. It has been written and rewritten and revamped so many times because it keeps building on the story. And the thing that's kind of magic about it is the people who wrote the original adventure continue to work with the people that do the edits, so it keeps the same storyline throughout. Basically, Curse of Strahd is previously an adventure that was called Journey to Castle Ravenloft, I believe, which was from D&D 3.5. And the overall theme is Strahd has this... I'm trying to think of how to explain without giving away too much in-story elements, but I think you've kind of figured most of this out by now. Strahd's domain exists outside of normal space. People can't just come in and leave, and they can't come and go whenever they want. And people who come to Strahd's domain are trapped. Strahd has a supernatural way of dealing and working with the area of Barovia. He's trapped here, though. He can't leave, so he brings other people to. Oh, thank you, Quirky Turtle, for that sub. Thank you, Serving, for gifting that sub. Yeah. Now that I can actually watch chat and do this. So Strahd brings adventures into his domain and kind of exists as this soul of hatred. As we kind of discovered today in the Tome of Strahd, where he writes about his dealings with killing his brother and the woman that they both loved and all that heartbreak. Killing his brother and watching his beloved die basically stole everything that life gave him from him. So he resents life, he hates everyone and everything, and he will do everything in his power to kind of manipulate and corrupt and destroy from the inside and twist these people in very dark and depraved ways. Then when he gets bored with them, he'll kill them. So that's kind of where our adventures are right now. Toxic masculinity vampire is pretty much perfect.
I saw that too. I was like, oh my gosh, that's right.
So
I mean, do you see him in this picture? Like, hello?
So the town of Barovia itself existed long before Strahd arrived, and the only reason that he has such a close tie with the land is because he fought a war here and kind of took over the area, built Castle Ravenloft as an homage to his mother. And then both of his parents died. He killed his brother. He was killed by his archers who witnessed the murder, but he didn't die. He essentially signed a death contract in blood, his brother's blood, with mysterious dark forces that have trapped him in this land. So the people of Barovia are also equally trapped, and so are the souls within Barovia. If you die in Barovia, you do not get to leave. You don't ascend to a higher plane. You don't get to meet your deity. Like in D&D, gods are very real and very much involved with the world. You do not get to leave Strahd's domain and find everlasting rest as long as you're here. There's a cycle of kind of torture that happens for everyone that lives here. So the people that actually are interactable, that you deal with on a day-to-day basis, like Danica and Ismark and Irina and the Burgomaster, all of those people actually have souls. A lot of the people in Barovia that are not peasants or otherwise, inhabitants of the world may not even be real. Like, they're all Strahd's will projected so that he has subjects. So kind of determining who's real, who's not, who has a soul, who doesn't, all of that stuff is, all part of the plot, all written in. and we've only seen about half of the different places in Barovia. There's only one more town, but there's still way more to uncover.
There's
So
so
I'm
much.
loving every second of this.
That is Curse of Strahd in a nutshell.
Yay!
Maybe what we could do in like the off week, like we should do like a recap, like just like a round table chat recap of like where we've because
That would be
this is our
a lot of
17th
fun.
episode. This has been going on for like a year.
What I'm hearing is after 17 episodes, we get our own like talk after show.
Yeah, like just so like if we're gonna have people, you know, really like they need to catch up but not like watch everything. I think we should just
by
do
the
a
way,
little recap show.
I love this shirt so much.
Yeah, I was trying to read it earlier.
Hold on. I'm trying to like sit up on my thing. I can
Wow,
stand.
are you one of those like e-girls?
Smiling DM.
Oh my god, that's too good.
e-girl, smiling DM, everything. It's just too much. This
It's
is
just we're learning
You
today.
know.
and I didn't know what an e-girl was until today. So
Yeah.
hey,
We've all learned.
yay for education.
We've all learned.
We're learning for sure. But no, I think it would be cool to do like a recap. Like this is where we've come so far. Because even just tonight, like we're doing so many throwbacks. Like I said the thing about the book. Like, hey, remember that time that book killed me? Like,
Yeah. And then I had to like go into my mind palace and look for it.
and you're like, what? And I'm like, you know, right after I got the 3 critical fails directly in a row, and then I died to a book.
Favorite thing.
Like it was just. Yeah, and then Murder House Revisited would be fun.
No, let's never go.
Yeah, it's never.
I wouldn't mind going back there.
Something that I might be able to do is we might be able to start doing like a how to run series. So like if you're a dungeon master, or if you're interested in running Curse of Strahd, or if you're interested in running adventures, if that's something you guys want to see, I can talk about
I would watch.
Okay. I can talk about different tools I use, different modules I run, and kind of the thematics of at least the Curse of Strahd story arc. So, for example, describing Murder House, they give you text blocks that kind of explain what's in the room, but it's up to the dungeon master to come up with the horror elements of it. Like, the doll does not exist in the campaign. That's not something that's rules as written.
Yeah, but now it does.
Exactly, because it's like a fun flavor thing that one of your players is freaked out by. Absolutely, go hard on that shit. Make that pop up wherever you want. Like
That doll
and those are
gonna follow us
Forever.
forever. Well, that's why when it started happening, I had you start rolling like wisdom saving throws and stuff, because that's essentially your psyche tricking itself into thinking that something's wrong. So
That's why
does
nobody
the doll
else
really exists?
Yeah.
right.
And I think what is so great and organic about that story element is like, I at no point like in our backstory or like creating the character was I ever like, oh, Jayas is gonna just be like deathly afraid of dolls. But it was like in the moment in that house, like as you were describing it, and like I go into this room by myself, the door closes, and you're just describing the room, and then I happen to be like, and there's this doll, and suddenly I was like, I never turned my back to that doll. That doll does not leave my line of sight. And so like it became this like instant like, no, she is terrified of dolls. This is exactly why. It's just trying to kill her. Like, and now it's, oh God, it's like 6+ months later, more than that. Like,
Yeah.
and like this is it. Like it's her
Still
one.
part of it.
It's her biggest fear is fucking dolls.
Yeah.
It's honestly
It's,
one of my favorite little Easter egg things that follow us around.
Yeah. Well,
I know we
especially
have a doll that looks just
yeah,
like
well,
it.
and even I think like so many things too at that time. Like I get excited about it, but it was like I think Jenna. I think it was Jenna. I don't know if it was Adam. Whoever was on our Twitter account had posted. They found that like demonic Belle doll that they posted the picture,
Yep.
and I was like, it was so perfect, and because it was Belle. And then it was like so I think it was like 2 episodes for Murder House. I think it was just the 2-part, and it was like as we were finally leaving, and you're like the little girl, like there was like a Vistani girl in the wagon, and you were like, and she's holding a doll in a yellow dress, and like that's where we ended it. And I was like stressing about it until we played again, like oh my God.
And I was like, I'm gonna look at you and be like, yellow dress, and you're like, yellow dress.
Yeah.
That's the sign of like good of a good hook and good story writing. So I'm really glad that that stuck because that's at the end of the day, I want us to walk away with stories that are retellable that you want to tell your friends like, oh my god, we played D&D this weekend and you will not believe the crazy shit that went down. Like that's my goal.
Like,
If I can do that at the end of the session, like
Well, and
I'm
I think that's really kind of what sparked the J.Os has a serious drinking problem in Barovia. And it was actually that very next session that we went to I kept saying the Burgermaster's house. And remember, I was just drunk upstairs in his office saying, oh, I'm the Burgermaster, like the whole time.
we were all talking to Irina, and you just suddenly typed in the chat, Jazz has made it to the second floor.
Yeah, I was like off doing my own thing. Oh my god.
Like, I just
Yeah.
imagined you, like, in the background, just like wandering up the
Yeah, J.S. is just like, she's on, like, we're all on this journey together, but she's on, like, this, she's cracking under pressure, guys. Like, I don't
She's an
know.
incredible character, I have to say.
I don't know how much more she's going to be able to withstand.
I'll just keep doping her up with opioids.
I know, now that you can craft opium, I mean,
Right? Seriously, that's like a part of this now.
I will
Easy
say that
target.
I was debating putting in some like Arkham Horror sanity check kind of stuff.
There he goes.
But I
again.
figured at the end of the day, that's one more system I don't want to have to run. I think we can pull it off organically without having to track like a number value. So I'm glad that it feels like, yeah, shit's super stressful.
Yeah. It's just,
That's how Barovia is supposed to feel. Like nothing
Yeah.
here. There are moments and sparks of joy. How you guys handled the Festival of the Blazing Sun is probably the happiest it's ever going to be. But it's that careful interplay of if Barovia is constantly dark and depressing all the time, it's not going to be fun to be a part of, nor do you guys want to try and save it.
yeah.
But
Or
by
like,
highlighting
can
some
we
of
just
the
burn it
humanity,
down?
yeah, by keeping some of the humanity and like also finding the comedy in some of the dark shit, like that's the kind of stuff that creates story beat moments for players that you guys can really grasp onto.
Boy, can we find the iron thing.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Like, all this bad shit's going down, but there's a monkey, so, like,
Exactly, so it's fine.
taking the monkey to book club.
Hell yeah.
I could wild shape into one and you could have two.
Oh my god. Oh, here's the monkey as a decoy.
And then I could be the other one. I could be like, and yeah, I could like go search the rest of the house or something.
make the real
And-
monkey like cause a scene, and then you just sneak away and find.
And then people would just think I was a no.
We'll think about it. I'm sure
Yeah,
we'll.
right.
Yeah.
So, is
I
there?
still haven't gotten to wild shape.
I know.
I'm trying to save it for something really good. So I need to just do it already.
Like, come down to breakfast and just.
Yeah.
Be a tiger.
You know, like you do.
Right. Roar at everybody.
So I guess, should we do like? I mean, we got a little bit of time. Should we do like a Q&A? Does anybody in chat have questions?
Yeah.
Or like, do we have anything like we used to be like? Oh, I have this con coming up. I'm doing this. Like any news we want to share?
Battle for Azeroth comes out some point this month. My life doesn't exist anymore because I'm doing a lot of that. So if you're planning on playing WoW, have fun.
Me, I am.
Oh.
I already bought it. Ha 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 ha.
I know Blind Fury is very excited for that.
Tiger Mama.
I got that digital deluxe edition, so I got that.
Yeah.
I'm sure
By the way,
she's very excited.
That reminds me.
So
Tiger Mama.
Charlie, hit me up on Twitter, like in a DM, just as a reminder of I have something I can give you.
Yay!
ooh, Adam gives best gift.
Oh
But,
yeah.
So my internet got knocked out because I had a really bad lightning storm that rolled through.
Yeah.
I live in rural Virginia. I'll just say that. Anyway, so when stuff goes bad, it takes a while for things to get fixed, and it took almost 2 weeks for my internet company to send a replacement modem.
How did you
So
live?
during that time, my mom came to visit, and she's Blind Fury in the chat, and she didn't demand, but she strongly emphasized my need to watch the trailer for Battle of Azeroth.
Oh my
And
god, it's amazing, is it not?
so okay, I had to watch it at whatever the 480 whatever.
480p.
Oh,
Yeah, that on one cell bar, like
Oh
using my
no.
phone like Lion King style because I don't have service out here, and watch this trailer because she like made me watch it. She's like, "You've got to watch it! Isn't it awesome?" She was like so excited, and I'm
Aw.
looking at it, and
I love
it looks
Aw.
so freaking cool. Though I have to say, Blizzard, you done good.
Well,
You done
that's
good.
even though I don't follow like Warcraft or anything. When we were at BlizzCon, they did
when they showed that trailer.
the trailer. What was that one for, Adam? With
So that was the Battle for Azeroth opening cinematic.
Yeah.
It's basically the Battle of Lordaeron.
so they're showing that, and like I have a base idea of the characters and stuff, and like mostly from playing Heroes of the Storm, or just like hearing about them, and like they're showing that, and when she like for the Horde, dude, like the whole thing, I was just weeping, and I was just
Yeah.
like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm feeling so many emotions.
That is the hardest part because I turned
I'm
into
like getting teary-eyed just thinking about
a
it.
mess.
Adam was
So
sitting next to me, and I felt your hand like touch mine, like, like you were so.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have no idea what's going on, but I'm okay.
That cinematic is what made me buy World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
What cinematic was this? I want to
So
watch
this
it.
was the one that you watched. It was the one where Sylvanas just like
Oh, where
so
she
it's-
banties out?
right. So
Yes.
there's that one,
And the whole
and
crowd when you watch the reactions from like every different room on YouTube.
yeah. If
Oh,
So
okay.
if you've never done it, a guilty pleasure of mine that I do sometimes on days where things are really, really, really shitty and I have to kind of get a pick me up, watch BlizzCon Reaction 2 and then literally the name of any trailer that's debuted at BlizzCon.
Cool.
It doesn't quite capture the excitement of being there in person, but god damn, it's so close. Like when we announced Overwatch, someone did a video for that. Someone did when we did the Sombra reveal because people sit in the audience and they record it. The Sombra announcement's probably one of my favorites. So like BlizzCon Reaction Sombra
Yeah, that
video.
was awesome. When
Oh,
like it started
my heart.
doing the shorting out in the beginning and everybody started cheering. I was like,
Mhm.
they just knew.
Yeah.
I would have been like, you're fucking up this like screen right now.
Yeah, it was such a cool experience.
Oh.
There, I could.
Should
if we ever decide.
Yeah,
that
do we
wanna
want to watch this together? Or like,
Yes.
is
I mean, sure.
Oh
I
my
think
God,
someone's
this-
watching it right now.
the
I'm
sound?
getting a lot of feedback.
Jenna, please. Jenna, I'm muting you.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I mean, I could pull up the trailer. We could watch it.
Yeah, let's watch it.
Is she still?
This was
Okay, I
like-
unmuted her.
Okay.
Yeah, here, welcome to our scuffed stream where we're gonna look shit up. I hope nothing's embarrassing. Oh my god. Oh no, it's just like workaholics dick videos and stuff. So what would it be? It's the Battle of Azeroth opening.
There's a video. Yeah.
How can
We've also
how
got
can
the
we
overlay
watch
still
it?
on.
Oh, yeah, I'll take that off.
If you go ahead and open up the Twitch stream in a browser because we're gonna watch it on the stream.
Okay.
I love that you're on the Lady Gamers Night YouTube channel.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
while we pull that up, before we click into it, Servian had a question about how do you play D&D. I will kind of give you the quickest, easiest way to approach it. So step one, go to dndbeyond.com. They have all of the base rules available for free, so you can read like short pieces from the Player's Handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, the Monster Manual, all there for free. And then if you decide that you want to dive into it, you can buy digital books. You can go to the library and check out all of the 5th edition books are usually in libraries, game stores. You can go to Barnes & Noble and you can read them and just like get a coffee and hang out and read them. I strongly encourage you to buy the books, but if you want to kind of get your feet wet before you do, that's what I did. But the actual running of the game is really simple. Unlike a video game where you've got a specific set of things you can do, D&D, you can do literally anything. If my players tell me I want to jump over the railing, I want to punch Danica in the face, I want to steal a loaf of bread, and then I want to ride a horse off into the sunset. Like, there are skill checks for everything that you could do down that line. And it's up to the dungeon master just to decide, can the players do this? Do I want to make them roll for it? Does it feel like a good story element to guide them in that direction? And you're just telling a story together. Like, it's literally, I design the world and I create what's going on around the players. But then it's up to the girls to tell me, what do you want to do? What do you do with this information that you've now figured out? Like, I'm not telling them to go to Lady Boctor House. I can strongly encourage it, but if they decide they don't want to go there, then they just miss elements of that story, and things may not come up because of that, or certain things may pop up later that they have no warning about because they don't do certain things. So yeah, like, you're never going to have your party explore everything. There are parts of this adventure that I fully expect the Sister Slay group to not find. And that's part of the fun of running D&D, is every single game you run is going to be different. But anything you can think of doing, you can roll dice checks for and make it happen, or you can just tell the players, like, yeah, absolutely, this sounds like fun. You succeed, what happens next? And it's giving that ball, like, if you're playing catch, I tell my part of the story and I throw it to the party, and they write their part of the story and they throw it back, and it's a lot of back and forth. If you like improv or anything like that, it's very similar to that. So that's D&D in a nutshell.
Imagination improv introverts.
Yes.
Exactly. That is exactly what it is.
It's so true.
And it's like, the more you go, like, the more ridiculous it gets. Alright, so we're ready for the Lady Gamers Night premiere.
Ready.
Ready.
How am I gonna hear it? Am I gonna hear it through the
You'll have to hear
We're gonna have to unmute the stream. How about this? Why don't we mute ourselves during the video
and watch
so
the stream.
we don't talk over it.
Okay.
And then, yeah, watch the stream, unmute it, and we're good there.
All right, cool.
Alright. Here we go. I hope the sound is, like, not crazy.
Ours is a cycle of hatred. Alliances forged and broken. We have paid the price for sharing this world. And we have forgotten what makes us strong.
Close ranks! Advance has won! Lordaeron will be ours! My king, we have her cornered.
Keep firing!
Stand as one for the Alliance!
Wowee.
So yeah,
it's so
that's Battle for
It's
Azeroth.
so
So
y'all.
good.
there's that.
Wowee.
It's so good. Who does them?
So yeah, that's
so
so we have a team at Blizzard that do I still have an echo?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's an echo coming from someone else.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
turn the stream sound off.
Yeah. So we have an in-house cinematics group. We've got two groups that do both in-game render, so machinima, and then we've got pre-rendered cinematics like that one that are basically done in-house. We also do a lot of contracting work. So for example, on the Overwatch trailer, when we did that one, a lot of people were like, this feels very cartoony and very like Pixar-esque. And I'm like, well, we did have some people who've done work for Pixar work on this as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we also work with some absolutely brilliant talent in that space. All of our voice actors that donate, well, I don't say donate, but that give life to all of these characters, and just everything that goes into it is very special. Our story and franchise development group do an amazing job with these, and from pre-production all the way through to the final publish from community, like amazing work. Absolutely love these guys.
Oh shit. Sorry. Sorry.
You're good.
I'm moving a lamp and the
Lovely.
shade came off.
The shade.
Shade
Came
us,
off,
dude.
y'all. Okay.
In the Twitch chat, I put up my favorite BlizzCon reaction to that whole trailer, where you can just hear the gasp.
As everybody's like, boo!
Oh yeah.
It's so good.
So if
gonna
anyone
watch
ever decides they would be interested in this, I would love to do like a Blizzard storytime thing where I just tell you guys about all the cool nerd shit that I geek out about.
This is
Yes.
we should do
I-
this on, like I said, like that, maybe like every other Sunday, or if we know like not everybody can make it to a game,
Right.
like it would be just like Blizzard story time.
Okay.
Be
Be
I've been
way
getting
better than
really
my
in-
farm story time.
To the lore lately.
I'm okay with farm story time.
It's boring. End of story.
That's not true. You have chickens.
I do have chickens.
I love them chickens.
Yeah.
Look at all those chickens.
And my kittens, I have 5 kitties now.
Yay!
Oh, I saw your pictures. You're so cute.
Oh.
They're outside. I need to update pictures. They are super cute.
All right.
Alright.
I was gonna say
I
if
forgot
we have,
that we were still live. I'm sorry, people. I'm
Yeah.
telling you about my cat.
yeah, I was like, now we're just talking. All right, so that will be it for us for the day. Glad we had so many new people, and thank
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Gabby for having a fun time. As far as I know, like we won't do anything next week because we take 1 week off typically, and I will be away anyway. So we're looking at the 19th.
Yes.
Yeah, should be good.
Cool. So we will be back, y'all, on the 19th, and we're gonna go to a cultist book club with a monkey.
Yay!
Woohoo!
And we might kill someone.
Yeah.
We're not gonna kill anybody.
We
I'm
haven't
gonna kill her.
we haven't killed anybody in how long?
I'm calling this now. I'm going to kill her.
Okay.
Nice, Sue.
But
All right.
then that balance of power will be hugely. Never mind. We can get into it later.
Yep, that's fine. All right.
All
Good night,
right.
everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for
Thanks for
tuning in.
tuning in.
Follow us on Twitter for when we'll be on the air.
Yeah. Bye.